Alrighty, well, welcome to this week's Talk or Ask Us Anything. It's actually not been a particularly busy news week, but there have been a couple of pretty significant developments. The first of which is that Elon Musk has been declared Time Magazine's 2021 Person of the Year, which is actually a pretty big deal. Um, I think one of the best quotes came from Walter Isaacson, who contributed to the Time Magazine article, and he said, and I quote, through his intense focus on driving every problem down to the level of basic physics, he has already earned himself a spot in the pantheon of history's great innovators. And I really think there could be no truer statement made. Elon Musk really is a visionary in our times and probably a visionary for all times. So many congratulations to him and for Time Magazine for recognising such a great man and his achievements. The last bit of news we've got is an alpha candidate Cybertruck has been spotted on Tesla's test track. And this is one of the images thanks to a gentleman that flies drones regularly over the test track. And this is something we'll get into a little bit later in the program to analyse some of the footage that was taken and some of the images. But suffice to say, it's a pretty interesting development in Cybertruck land, which many of us are obviously very, very keen to explore. And that's Talk was Ask Us Anything news for this week. And I'll just very quickly rearrange things. And now we're back to our regular program. Yes, so basically the Cybertruck used to look something like, oh, sorry, and what we'll do is we'll do some introductions. Actually, we might as well do that right now before we get sort of started in earnest. If there's anyone new, please say hello, either by putting your hand up or just simply yelling out. I think, Joshua, you may not have been on here before, but welcome in any case.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I guess I'm an OG with the Tesla community, but the first time to the Wednesday catch up. Usually I have ankle biters slowing me down about this time of night, but I have a night off. The kids and my wife are at their in-laws. So that said, I'm still busy trying to clean the house in the meantime.
Awesome. No worries. You can just listen in vicariously if you like, or obviously look at our channel on YouTube. Just go to Tokwa, the Tokwa channel on YouTube, and you can watch it all over again just for fun.
I certainly do watch the videos, so I catch up when I can, but it's usually in the middle of the night when the kids are down. So cool, but good to join real time for a change.
Cool, awesome. Well, welcome to the real world, and you might even get some bonus content that we have to sometimes snip out of the YouTube channel. So
Cool.
you never know your luck. We'll try our best to be controversial.
I can make sure about you like, Harold.
Thanks, Russell. You're a man that can always be trusted to follow through and to bring home the bacon. Absolutely. Okay, is there anyone else that's new or hasn't been here for a while that you'd like to reintroduce yourselves or just say hello again? No, and the crowd roars. So, okay, well, we're going to move straight on to my favourite subject, which is this thing, and that's the Cybertruck. Except that is not the Cybertruck as we now know it. It has now morphed into this. And what's notable, the most notable change, I mean, yes, there are no door handles. So that's something that is different from the original. What might be a substitute for a door handle is something here that could be like a fingerprint, a button, some sort of reader, not really sure. The most notable thing, of course, is the curved windscreen. And that was actually evidenced a couple of months ago in this clip from Tesla Glass. And that actually shows the enormous Cybertruck windscreen. And you can actually see this little notch in the corner, in the left-hand corner. That actually lines up nicely with this rather controversial windscreen wiper, because this is where the notch is so that the wiper mechanism could be put in place. A couple of other notable items are you can see wing mirrors, which Elon Musk has assured can be removed. And the good thing is it looks like it's only been attached by sort of the side plastic trim. So that should be easy to be removed. If we move to the next image, we've got the glass. Now this obviously is a close-up of the wiper blade, which Elon Musk himself has said he doesn't like. And no doubt it's gently doing his head in. You can basically see there are two blades. So there's one mounted here in the center, and the blade's about that long. And there's another one mounted lower down that goes to from about here to, I think, roughly here. It obviously overlaps the other one. Now, next thing we got is you can actually see the wing mirrors tucked in the drive. So that's going to be great in Australia because obviously you've got things like the Audi e-tron, which has cameras for virtual side mirrors, and they've got little screens in the upper part of the front part of the passenger and driver's doors. So presumably, if Audi are allowed to do that here, then so will Tesla with the Cybertruck. So I guess the good news for us is we will probably never see those side mirrors, unless you want them as an option. Perhaps, I don't know, but so we don't really have to worry about it. And in the States, of course, the first thing they'll do is just take them off. Moving along to another couple of images. This is the front of the Cybertruck. So you can see the front this front panel hasn't changed. It's just simply bent and curved in one direction. So that's no big issue. What has changed is the highlights that used to be like an LED bar light going across the top. That seems to have now gone. You can still see the very straight format for the Volt, I think it's called, where you've got effectively the tonneau cover or it's really like a roller shutter. Obviously it has to be straight so it can roll in and roll out properly. Next image is just a top-down image. Something a bit new here is the bed used to be metal, and now it seems to be a plastic formation. You can also see that it's in 3 sections. So I think this front section is probably to get access to effectively the roller shutter. There's a roller that rolls up the vault cover. This central section is probably just covering up where the drive unit is, and then this rear one is probably additional storage. So that's pretty cool. And I think one of the last images we've got, that's another rear shot. And what's interesting here is it looks like the rear window is either missing or possibly has been lowered. So it might be retractable because it really doesn't look like there's glass there. Those 3 parts here are the backs of the second row of seating. So either the glass was removed altogether or it's actually movable. And if it's movable, of course, that makes it eminently able to cool the vault if you have it closed, because the vault actually goes right up to the roofline, and you've then got basically access for air, and possibly you could even crawl between the middle row seats and the vault, which is pretty cool. Now this is something that might be doing Elon Musk's head in, and this is something I just sort of captured from the video and I turned into a GIF. What you can see here is basically the shape of this bonnet now has gone from being completely flat to actually being a cone shape. So it's actually curved in from left to right, and also the curvature increases, or becomes less curved towards the front of the car to the front of the windscreen, which means that you have to basically deflect it. And Elon Musk has famously said that this alloy that they're using cannot be stamped, virtually cannot be rolled, cannot be manipulated except for scored and bent. So you can see these ripples are obviously as a result of them, I don't know if they're peening it or whatever they're doing to get it into shape. And no doubt this is something that is quietly doing Elon Musk's head in. So that's a bit of a deep dive of the Cybertruck.
And Harold, I noticed that not one of the videos that I've watched on YouTube regarding that has mentioned blue tape stuck on, holding it together.
Yes. Well, maybe if it didn't weld it properly the first time, or the rivet, didn't quite work, there's nothing like a bit of blue painting tape to fix all sins. And yeah, you're right,
I have heard, and this will upset you, Harold, that we'll be lucky to get that vehicle in Australia for many, many years.
Please explain.
I've just heard that it's not going to be coming to Australia for maybe 3-4 years.
I choose to reject your reality and substitute my own. I'm hoping...
We can all live in hope, Harold.
Just so I can distract with that thought, yeah, there is the tape. I think it's actually... I don't know if it's powering the wiper or not, because you can see a little wire and it's going up here. I don't know. Or maybe there's a sensor of some sort. And it also trails.
I've used very similar tape in testing aviation products in the past. It's probably a Kapton tape for sensor wires. So it's basically to allow you to have sensors and probes.
Yeah, cool. Actually, one thing I realize I've forgotten in this image is you can actually see the faint outline, I think, of the sweep of the windscreen wiper. So you can see an arc just here. There's like a very faint hint that might be the sweep. So presumably it's actually been working, and the window is slightly dirty, well, at least a bit that hasn't been cleaned. So yeah, that was just one incidental thing. Obviously just one big sweep with two wipers.
Does it look like the driver's in autopilot? Like, is that one of his hands not on the steering wheel, or?
Yeah, it's not a motion video. That's his left arm. So his left arm is going across, and
his right arm's behind it.
Yeah.
He's playing computer games on the screen.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, doing some analytics thing on the machine. But yeah, did you say that shot there, he was just parked up, wasn't driving?
Possibly. Yes, I think quite possibly. I've sort of lost track of all the shots I've sort of extracted, but I think that might have been actually when he's parked, possibly.
Nigel, I'm going to agree with you there but to me, it's not so much of a surprise. Like, I would think 3 or 4 years anyway before it came here. I mean, Tesla kind of seems to launch vehicles for the Australian market 2 years after they released them for the American market. So, if we're talking 2022, that's already 2024. And then another year of, supply delays and whatever else. I wouldn't expect it to be here in big numbers until 2025 anyway. So I know it's annoying, but
now that's just upset Harold again.
Actually, I think I'm going to have to.
Next year. Sorry.
I think I should. I think I should have played this first.
The following segment is general in nature and shouldn't be taken as personal professional advice.
The reason I say that is I choose not to take that as personal professional advice, and I do hope the Cybertruck gets here sooner.
You can believe what you like, Harold. If it makes you happy, it'll be here next year.
Oh,
I think this might be Elon Musk's reality distortion field.
Actually, speaking of which, there might be a bit of distortion in Giga Berlin, because some environmentalists are taking, I think it's Grünheide to court, or the water company to court, to try and prevent them from releasing more water to the Gigafactory. And if they are successful, it means that the Gigafactory would not be able to operate, even though it may have all its licenses. So that is an interesting development, which hopefully will go the right way, one way or another. Which obviously dovetails nicely into the Model Y, which also hasn't come into Australia yet, but clearly we're waiting for production to start at Giga Berlin so that Giga Shanghai can effectively stop exporting cars to Europe and start exporting them to Australia.
Have you noticed on the certification unit search webpage that the S and X have gone and disappeared and they've flown away and there's still just the 3 left?
It had me very, very intrigued, Nigel, and I just don't know why they've gone, because I'm pretty sure that I haven't really bothered to look at other manufacturers, but I'm pretty sure that even past versions of cars are all on the certification unit website, I think. I'm just going to bring it up for everyone to see. So if you just go and search Tesla, and Nigel, I actually did that this afternoon, just checking, for a Model Y, obviously. And then I was quite shocked to see that S and X have disappeared and it's only Model 3. And the last update was in October from memory,
Harold,
18th.
could that be because the cars have changed dramatically, and therefore the old certification wouldn't apply?
Well, what's strange is back on the 24th of May 2019 for the Model 3s, you've got this reference document, which is all out of date, entirely. None of these models are sold anymore. The 2 models listed here. And yet there's still all of the provenance is still shown. So it's a strange development.
For the new Model S and X, the updated ones, they just have a new certification on there. So you get the old S and the old X, and then the new S and the new X. So they disappeared yesterday, I believe, Harold.
Yes. Yep.
Because I keep looking for the Model Y as well.
Yeah, me too. That's all I seem to do is just keep bashing that site. Now, what's an interesting development is if I can find a tweet that I sent out. It was a reply, I think, to Pete. Unless you've got it, Pete. Here we go. Show more replies. Sorry about this. I'm going to bring it up in 2 seconds.
And
basically,
Joshua's got his hand up as well.
Oh, Josh, go shoot, please.
I don't know if it was very relevant because I was actually waiting to get everyone's opinion while we were speculating delivery times. What's everyone's thoughts on Model Y delivery? It's all a bit hearsay, but any thoughts?
2 weeks. Oh, sorry, that was.
You're doing Harold time.
How long do you think all that'll take? 2 weeks? Really? Yeah, that's all.
Any idea when you're going to be finished here?
2 weeks.
How long will it take to put this place together?
2 weeks. I do get the permits. How long will the job take? 2 weeks. 2 weeks? 2 weeks? You sound like a parakeet there. 2 weeks? 2 weeks? Well, 2 weeks. It's amazing. Amazing nothing. It'll be a regular miracle.
I'll keep Jared happy.
Nice.
So there you go, Joshua. Tom Hanks reckons it's 2 weeks.
Perpetually 2 weeks for the last 2 years.
So what do you reckon?
I'm hoping mid-year next year. So I'm thinking by end of Q2. Not to say they push for Qs anymore, but I think, that sort of second quarter would be realistic, because even if Germany hasn't opened their Gigafactory yet, they've got to start diversifying that China factory exports. So I would hope to think they're starting to think about other countries than just flooding the European market. And they're already shipping 3, so it's not that hard to just start diversifying that shipment.
Yeah, I think Q2's as delivery is probably on the cards with a Q1 order timeframe. So Tesla will probably make us wait till next month or the month after to have deliveries in Q at the end of Q2. Yeah, that's dead on, Joshua. That's what I reckon too.
When did it get released in the States? Was it March 2019?
Yes.
I'd be surprised if it was any less than that, but
I think that's about right.
That was the last time I was in America. I haven't been able to travel since. But,
Or was it
The,
20? Or was it 20? Yeah, no, I think it was 2019.
they were just starting to ship them
Yeah.
to some customers, but there weren't enough. There weren't any on Turo at the time. I was very upset, so I had to, just hire a Model 3. But
Sorry, or was it 2020? No,
The first production was in January 2020, according to this.
Oh,
January 20.
First-
Okay. Yeah,
First
right.
deliveries were March 13.
Here we go. Okay.
the 22 is more realistic. The 2-year lag that Australia gets.
Yeah.
But it is a shame that they don't just diversify what shipments, go. Like they're already shipping hundreds of Model 3s out of China. So it's a shame they can't just, put some tens of percent of those as Model Ys. It's not that simple, I guess, for them.
Well, it might be also the drive, because we're right-hand drive. And there's only the UK that I think they've just started shipments or about to get deliveries. Only have even had deliveries yet in the UK till January.
Hong Kong's got right-hand drive.
Have they actually got them now? Or have they just taken
They're
orders
open.
for them?
They're on the
for
website
orders.
to order.
Yeah, I don't think they've actually received them yet. So that'll be interesting.
And we should be getting the same 3 models that they are: a standard range, a long range, and a performance.
That'll be interesting.
Is that what Hong Kong?
America does not
No.
standard range yet, does it?
Hong Kong has standard range, don't they?
Yeah, I remember reading somewhere that the certification that they are applying for includes the 3 models here, but you probably won't see the standard range for a bit longer because they'll bring out the more expensive ones first.
That said, I think that's almost a benefit we have being such a laggard market, is we did get the standard range straight away in Australia. I was one of the first to take delivery of a standard range plus, and I was stoked that I didn't have to, pay a premium to be first and have to go long range. So it's kind of almost a secondary benefit of being a laggard. You end up with the full range to choose from.
Yeah, absolutely. So, out of interest, who's sort of hankering for a Model Y in the room?
I'd like to look at one. I was holding for one.
Yeah.
So go, Mark.
I've got a bet each way now, Harold. I've capitulated and took delivery of a second Model 3 and still waiting for the Model Y. So couldn't wait. In fact, technically, we're a 4 EV family at the moment.
Yes, and we won't tell the room how many we've got on order either. It's all good. Actually, how is Tesla share price doing
Pete,
at the moment?
how did you go with delivery the other day? Was it all good?
Yeah, brilliant, mate. It was lightning fast, but that was okay. I ended up actually staying there for a good sort of 45 minutes. Ellison, who was on Ask Us Anything last Wednesday, her and her husband had their delivery, so I chatted with them for a little while. But no, it was seamless, very easy. But yeah, just almost as exciting as the first time around. How was yours, Damo? You got yours, I think, the day before, didn't you?
I hate the bloody thing.
Yeah.
Spending too much time in it. It's taken up all my time, and obviously you can tell sarcasm in my voice. I bloody love it, Pete. Big time. I'm still a bit gobsmacked with everything about the car. I learn more and more about it every time I leave the house. Yeah, it's just awesome, man. I'm so happy. And thank you to all you guys that sort of, and especially George, who helped me start on this EV journey. Thanks to everyone. I love it.
Good on you, George.
And
Awesome.
Harold, to come back to your little thing just now about the Tesla share price, it's heavily discounted at the moment for all of us to buy more.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. What was interesting is a lot has been said about Elon Musk's disposal of millions upon millions of shares, but what isn't as well emphasized is the fact that Elon Musk as we speak, has more shares in his portfolio than he started with. So at the moment, the main reason why he's selling any shares at all is to literally pay the tax on the options that he has to exercise to buy shares at $6.50. He's got an option to buy millions upon millions of shares at the huge price of $6.50. So when he does so, apart from getting a screaming bargain, he also has to pay the notional tax on that, on the discount between the $6.50 that he's paying and the, let's call it $1,000 that the shares are worth. So he's got to pay personal income tax on that.
50 odd percent.
Yes, and he's also got to pay tax on the shares, on the profit of the shares, the capital gains on the shares that he disposes to pay the tax. So in essence, he's paying tax on tax.
He'll be happy if the share price drops a bit, but then he's got to pay less tax.
I think there's a weird case where it doesn't make a lot of difference, because as the share price goes down, the amount of tax he has to pay goes down, but then the amount of tax he can pay with the shares he sells goes down. So I think it's almost much of a muchness. It's just that he has to dispose of a number of shares so as to get the options. But the main news is, as we speak, Elon Musk is not selling out of Tesla, even though he's selling Tesla shares, because his net holding in Tesla is increasing. So therefore, he is more bullish on his own company, which of course he is, because he knows all about it, and he knows what it's going to do next. So that's really the big news as far as the share price is concerned. Is yes, the price is a bit sad at the moment. There might be a bit of that Giga Berlin nervousness, because theoretically, the entire factory may have all its permits to do everything it needs to do, but it has no ability to draw water. And without water, you can't make anything. But I don't think anyone really believes that the German government would just allow that to just happen ad infinitum, like that there would be a solution found one way or another. And, with sufficient resources, you can overcome all problems.
The airport did take 10 years.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, but I mean, Tesla in Germany will probably sue the water people if they cut him off, and he'll sue them for billions in lost profit. I know, yes, I wouldn't stand for it.
And if I was a German government, I'd say, well, why don't we just build a water pipeline to somewhere where there's lots of water, and let's just do that quickly.
I'm sure they could do something with recycling as well if they really wanted to as well.
He does.
Really cut the water usage down.
Now, there is a lot of recycling.
Yeah.
You sure it's not Herbert Dees getting pissed off that he hasn't got a job offer yet?
I think he's he's on the friendly side, if anything.
I think Herbert Dees just can't believe that his company takes 30 hours to make a car, and Elon's company takes 3 hours. But then, that sort of highlights the fact that, as Walter Isaacson said, well, another thing he said is that Elon Musk questions every assumption in order to drill down to the first principles of physics. So, Elon Musk just says, well, why can't we build a car in 3 hours? Why does it have to take 30 hours? Why does the factory have to be sprawling and complicated and in a serpentine sort of structure? Why do we have to build things in multiple buildings and things like that? Why can't we all just do it on one line? And, poor old Herbert, I mean, he's had a spanking from VW. He's not been given any real endorsement. He's actually got less responsibilities and less influence now than he had before. So yeah, I think you're right, Mark. Well, wouldn't it be ironic if Dees left Volkswagen, had a bit of gardening leave, and then started up with Tesla? If they could accept someone as slow-minded as him, or as not as progressive as all the rest of the Tesla employees.
Well, he's trying his best, but he's got a very archaic system. He's trying to actually drag it into the 21st century. And it was all done for good reasons, to protect the workers. But in the end, the protecting the workers might end up losing all the jobs. That's the thing they've got to try and contend with.
Yeah, it's like sort of being on the Titanic shifting the deck chairs, isn't it?
It
You know?
is, but I can see the reasons why they're trying to do what they're doing, but they've also got to look forward and thinking, well, if we keep going the same way we have been, is that going to be good enough for the future? And it isn't. The future's changed, so they've got to change one way or another. It'd be just a lot better to do it in a controlled manner than wait till something goes bankrupt and then try and rescue what you've got left.
Yeah, absolutely. Related to that is Toyota's apparent
That was brilliant. I love that.
reverse tack on EVs.
Well, not Toyota, Lexus. And by default, because Lexus is Toyota in Japan.
Whatever.
Pete, you've got your hand up there.
Toyota Toy Story.
It is a bit of a Toy Story. You've got your hand up there, Pete. Did you mean to have it up?
Oh, is that me? Did you say?
Yeah, you got your hand up.
Yeah.
I can lower it for you if you like.
My hands up both here. I don't know what you're talking about.
So,
With Toyota, do you think they're actually trying to do that because they realise that they've got the wrong alley, and in order to just rescue the share price, they're trying to actually do that? I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually probably it. They're trying to delay. They're trying to delay progress by saying that they're for progress. But yeah, you're probably right. That's probably part of it as well, trying to pump the share price.
Yeah, because I mean, basically they're saying this is all Lexus, but we see Lexus as Lexus, but Lexus in Japan is still a Toyota. They're not sold as Lexus in Japan. They're all Toyotas. So
oh, really?
They're saying the rest of, there's no such thing as Lexus in Japan. All Lexuses are just Toyota. So consequently, I mean, it's a bit funny. Plus the fact they've got incentives over there anyway, because they do produce hydrogen, I believe.
The day that I can buy an EV Land Cruiser 79 series will be the day that I believe Toyota.
Well, sooner or later, they're going to have to swallow the pride or go bankrupt, one or the other.
I'm fine with either.
Hey, Richard, what's that cruiser I've seen getting around plugged in?
There's a few. There's a few conversions, but like if you want
got like high vis mining LV sort of stuff on it.
Yeah, look, you can pay 200 to 250 grand for a conversion that will do 180k. But that's not changing the production line to build them from the ground up as a skateboard chassis. It's just you can convert anything.
Who built that one? A mining company, or is that just privately owned?
There's a few. There's like Vivo Power.
It's a 90 series Land Cruiser that Toyota militantly refused to provide them with a rolling chassis. So it actually comes with its diesel engine fitted, and they remove it and sell it.
I've got 3 or 4 different quotes from companies sitting on my desk. But for a price that is so insane that, compared to just a diesel one for so little gain that like, I'm not even pushing it because it's just, what's the point? Like everyone's going to just look at me strange,
Yep.
It's just a joke. So I've no time for Toyota. And if they're not going to come to the table, let's get rid of them.
Yep.
It looks like that. Oops. That's one of them.
Just sort of flicking through PlugShare, I've seen one and it's plugged in at a couple of chargers and it's plugged in on Hannon Street in Kalgoorlie and.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's the one. That Land Cruiser at the front of my place, we're having a sauce of it. And I mean, look, in an underground mine, it's a great thing because there's zero emissions, and that's really useful for safety. But unfortunately, it's frustrating to hear that Toyota can't even be bothered to just ship them units without motors, they say, no, you just buy
That's-
wholesale. That's
that's
it.
Terrible.
You know, it's just a waste. I mean, they do resell the brand new motor, but you know, to have to even go to that extent, you know, you'd think Toyota would just come to the party.
They're ridiculously priced, I reckon, them utes as it is. They're like,
Yeah,
the
you're not
doors
wrong.
are like tin cans, and the handles break on them pretty much straight away, and they actually feel so tinny, don't they, Richard?
Oh, mate, I mean, I drive them every day, but like, it's just ridiculous. But like, you know, but there is an argument of like, oh, you know, they don't need to be any more, you know, technical than what they are. It's kind of, they work, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. But look, I just see Toyota as being another Kodak, you know, just like, if they're just not going to change, they're just going to get owned. But I think there's probably a bigger thing going on in the Japanese companies. You know, Japan as a country is very similar to Western Australia in that we've got vast gas reserves that can be used to make hydrogen using methane gas reforming, and therefore political decisions have been made to push hydrogen vehicles so that you can then use all that lovely gas to, you know, to release even more methane into the planet. So it's very hard to steer the ship away from that because they made that decision many years ago. Oh, that's a cool shot.
Yeah, that's the one, Harold, that I've been seeing. Yeah.
Yeah, the Zero. Yep. Sorry, it's a 70. Is it a 70 series? Sorry, not 90. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I'd love something like that if it had, you know, decent range. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, hi. It's Mike here.
Yes, Mike, how you going?
I've got a question. I'm getting really low mileage in my Model 3. I would only get, look, I'd be lucky to get 300, 320 Ks to a tank.
Is it a SR Plus? Or what sort of car have you got?
No, it's a Model 3 Plus, is it? Yeah, Model 3.
It's about standard range plus.
Yeah, it's about 5 months old or something.
So it cost about 66 grand roughly.
No, I paid 72 because it was a red one.
Oh, okay. Yes, so it went faster. Yes.
Well, it was the only one I could get.
That's the trouble.
I wanted a white one, but I had to get a red one.
It's a red one. It goes faster. You use more fuel. Simple as that.
No, seriously.
Okay. Yep. So
range is terrible.
I've got an SR Plus as well. Yeah. It's 2 years old, and my range from 100 to 0 is about 330.
Okay.
Now I do, according to my wife and Rob Dean, I've got a bit of a heavy right foot. I deny that, of course, but that does tend to chew through the electrons a bit faster. So I don't know whether you're a sedate driver, Mike, or whether you like that feeling of power.
No, look, yeah, it's
Mike,
just short
have you got the car in regenerative braking mode, or have you got it in
yeah?
Sorry, I missed that, Mike. What model are we talking about?
SR Plus.
SR Plus. About 5 months.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Have you definitely got it in regen mode?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
The kilometers you're talking about, is that highway driving or driving through the city?
No, that's city driving.
So you're getting 380 kilometers on a full charge, driving around.
I'm getting 420, about 420 at Karrinyup on a full charge. If I charge at home.
What were you expecting to get?
Oh, I thought I'd get about 370. Am I overestimating?
Yes.
Mike, have you noticed your efficiency? So if one of the menus will tell you how many watt hours per kilometre you're averaging.
I haven't.
It's in the, Harold will be able to show you where to find it. It's just in the bottom right-hand corner.
Sorry, I'm just going to get out of that bit and go, no, the other way. So when you go trip and you go, you've probably got trip A and trip B, which you probably haven't changed. So that will show how many kilometers you've done since the car was new, and it'll give you how many watt hours per kilometer, complete average, like long-term average.
Okay.
So if you have actually, Mike, if you've got a minute, I know this is a pain, but if you want to just briefly jump into your car, and like I said, what you do is you just sit in your car, and what you'll see initially, is just the car like this, and you swipe to the left, and you'll see a trip meter, and then you swipe upwards, and you'll see trip A and trip B, and then your odometer. Just have a look at this number. So the trip B should be how many Ks your car has done since new, and just have a look at this watt hours per kilometer. And yeah, if it's not too much hassle, just have a quick look now, and we can. You can even take us with you. There, awesome.
Yeah, just keep talking.
Yeah. So, one other thing too, Mike, is you're only doing city driving, so you're not going up on chippy roads or anything like that.
No, well, I can't go too far in it because it'll take hours to get anywhere. By the time you catch.
Are you doing a lot of your city driving? Is a lot of it on the freeway, or is it back streets or
streets? Not so much freeway, but streets.
And are you not charging your vehicle at home?
Well, I'm using up my free charging at Carina, the 2,500 I give you.
Actually, Mike, I know what you've got. I wonder whether you've got Sentry mode turned on at home.
I think I've got that turned off, I think. Right,
okay.
I'm in the car now.
Yep.
Hang on, I'll turn that. Right, I'll turn that off. Right.
So is his a made in China LFP battery?
Yeah, made in China.
So he's got what, a 50 kilowatt battery?
a little bit more? I think about 52.5.
It comes up at 420k when you charge it at Karen Up. If I charge it at home, it comes up about 405 or something.
Yep. So just show up your odometer, not to us obviously, but just read it and look at your trip B. So you swipe upwards. You swipe to the left first.
Yep, and then up.
And then up to get trip B.
Okay, it says 2 kilowatts. There it says a 145.
145, okay.
Yeah.
So hang on. So is this trip B? So you haven't so how many Ks have you got on it?
145.
No,
so
swipe up until you get to the very last one, and then
yes.
give you how many Ks you've done.
Keep going. Keep going to trip B. Yes.
Trip B.
Yes.
Below that
is it's done 3,872 kilometers.
Yep.
And it's done 570 kilowatt hours.
No, and then what's the number to the right?
147.
147 watt hours per kilometer.
Yeah.
Okay, so that, if you've got a 52 kilowatt hour battery, is about 350 kilometer range.
375, Nigel.
If it's 52 and he's got 147, it's 353.7.
I'm 57 kilowatts and I've done 147.
So I worked on 52.5 kilowatt hour battery, and I divided that by 0.147, and I got 357. Okay, you're right.
Yeah. So just over 350.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's what I'm getting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right.
Now, if you were to drive like a hoon, as though you'd stolen it, you would get even less kilometers. But if you drive like an old granny going to church every Sunday, you'd get 400.
Okay, so at the moment I'm getting how many?
About 350-ish.
Okay. Okay, so that would get me half the way to Albany.
Oh no, Mike, you don't need to worry about that because your first stop is at Williams Woolshed at the supercharger.
Yeah, but I've got to stop there for an hour to charge the plug.
No. No, not at all. So if you navigate to the supercharger, so in your car, if you press on the little lightning symbol in the lower left-hand corner of the car of the navigation screen, then it'll show superchargers. And on this screen at the moment, it's only showing Eaton, but that's because Williams wasn't open yet. But it'll show Williams as a red icon. And then what you do is you click on that icon, that red pin, and navigate to it. And that will then
How do I get to
basically.
that screen?
Okay, so if you, sorry, I'll just go back to screen share. So I'll just undo that. Okay, so if you look at your map normally, in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see a little lightning symbol. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
So just press that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And then it shows, and then it shows various charging. You've actually got a 1 lightning bolt, 2 lightning bolts, and 3 lightning bolts. If you've only got the 3 lightning bolts shown, it'll only show you superchargers. And there'll obviously be a supercharger at Eaton, Karrinyup, and Williams.
Yeah.
So then what you do to get the fastest possible charging is to actually navigate. So you press on the red pin, and then you press on the navigate symbol, and you navigate to the supercharger. And what that will do is the car will make sure that when you arrive at the supercharger, the battery is at the correct temperature for the optimum fastest charging.
Okay.
So I'm quite confident that you would be able to spend about 15 minutes at Williams, and that would be more than enough to get you on your way. Now, also, you can go to Karrinyup and top up at the fast DC charger, which I'm just going to bring up in a second. So you've got Williams, which is your first stop at the supercharger, and then you've got Karrinyup at the Codger Place. And that's a 50 kilowatt fast DC charger that you activate using the ChargeFox app.
Okay.
So you can see it there. And you can just do a top up. One useful thing is in the background, you can't really see it, but there's a toilet block in the park. So you can have like a little comfort break or whatever. Yeah. So that can be quite useful as a bit of vicarious charging along the way to Albany. But you could probably find that if you topped right up at Williams, if you wanted to, you could make it to Albany. But you might as well break the trip up into little segments, you know, have a coffee at the woolshed. And like I said, the charging, provided that you've navigated to the supercharger pin, regardless of whether it's summer or winter, your car will make sure the battery pack is at its optimum temperature for the fastest charging it can do. And you'll be quite surprised how quick it is.
Okay.
I think it's also worth suggesting a better route planner for those longer trips whenever you've got multi-charging destinations. It's been a lifesaver for me. I've driven all over California using it, and it's not like necessary as much here, but it is good because what it does is it optimizes the time that you spend charging based on the charge rate of the chargers. So it knows that the supercharger can do 170 kilowatt. It knows 50 kilowatt of those, tritiums, and it tells you the optimum trade-off in time between how long you want to wait at, Williams versus how long you want to wait at the next one. So it's called a better route planner, just spelled out.
Okay.
The website's abetterrouteplanner.com, and they've got an app that's, the abbreviation ABRP. So yeah, it's pretty powerful. And one clever thing you can do is you can actually bring it up in your web browser on the car. So obviously you can't use that while you're driving, but if you want to use your big screen in your car instead of the little screen on your phone, you can set up the Better Route Planner, and it can be in your in your web browser ready to go each time you stop. So when you stop, you can have a look at it again. It can give you an update on how your trip's going. It even has a real-time mode now for actually monitoring it in real time. The guy who wrote the code is like a mathematician genius, and he's done all the statistical analysis on energy consumption at different speeds and for different drag coefficients of the different cars. So you can actually specify exactly what model your car it has, and it will have the best statistical estimation on how well the battery will perform. Even to the point, even factors in elevation.
Okay, thanks. And one of the other questions is, let's
Mike,
say,
sorry, Mike, just before you go to the next question, another tip, And this is quite an important one. So if you haven't enabled your payment method through your ChargeFox app, then I do that now at home, because they will eat into your, that could take 5-7 minutes. If you're having, troubles, it could be even longer. So, and it will be frustrating. But enable all that, set your credit card up and your payment method, so that by the time you get there, all you do is enable it and you can start charging.
Okay, that sounds great. Also, on the self-drive thing, can I get it to self-drive down to Williams?
Yes, autopilot. So have you used autopilot yet?
Not really. Well, I've tried to use it on the freeway on Tonkin Highway and that, but
So when you say tried, did it actually engage into autopilot, or?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can, wherever you see the little steering wheel symbol on the dash, if you do a double tap down on your right-hand stalk, that will engage autopilot.
I think it's talking about the full self-driving. Have you bought full self-driving, Mike?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so it's a bit different. Are you talking about if it's going to take the corners for you all the way down there, or whether you have to drive? Yeah. So it's not going to work like that in Australia at the moment, unfortunately, mate. You'll still overtake cars on the freeway, but once you come off of the freeway, you're just back in regular autopilot again.
Okay, so when I double click, right, the wheel thing, the blue thing comes up on top.
Yep.
Right, and it's a blue line to the next car or something.
Yes, when it's on navigate on autopilot, there'll be a single blue line.
Yeah.
Say on the freeway if you've got navigation, but if you're on an ordinary street, it will be a double blue line. Well, it basically highlights your lane that it's driving in as a blue line to the left and a blue line to the right. So all the way down to Williams, you'll be going down Albany Highway. You won't have to have your hand turning the steering wheel, keeping your car in place. The car will do that. Autopilot will do that for you, provided, of course, you apply a gentle pressure to the steering wheel, either at all times or sporadically, just so that the car knows that you're paying attention.
Does it read the speed limits on the signs?
Yes, it does. And one pro tip that I learnt the hard way, when the Williams supercharger was being installed, I was making almost daily trips down to Williams, and at that time they had some roadworks. And what the car will often do is optically pick up speed signs, and it will also optically pick up roadwork speed signs. And in my case, it was a 40 zone. But then past the roadwork area, there was a 110 speed limit sign, but the car actually didn't see it properly and didn't recognize it. And then I had this decision of, in autopilot, it will often militantly refuse to let you go faster than the last known speed limit sign in certain circumstances. So what I learnt the hard way was the next day I sort of slowed down, veered a little bit to the left, so my car could clearly see the 110 sign. Otherwise, you have to basically drive the car in cruise control instead of autopilot. So in cruise control, it'll let you do what it thinks is speeding. But in autopilot, in certain types of roads, it just refuses to let you go faster than the speed limit. So you just got to be a little bit careful with construction areas, roadworks.
Okay, well, that's answered that. Look, thanks, fellas. I appreciate it.
But you'll basically be able to have a very relaxing trip all the way down to Albany with autopilot all the way, effectively.
Just remember, Mike, even when autopilot or FSD or navigate on autopilot is engaged, you're still 100% responsible for the car. So especially on the country roads, just make sure that you're always paying attention. It's very easy to get really comfortable with it, especially once it's pretty much behaving flawlessly for an extended period of time. So
okay, I also put a SpaceX badge on the back of it, a nice chrome one. I got from Amazon in the States.
Yes. Yep.
And people, have you seen them?
Sure have. Yes, absolutely.
And people say, well, what sort of car is that? And I tell them it's a Hyundai.
You're a troublemaker, aren't you?
Oh dear.
Harold, there's 2 people with their hand up.
Oh, apologies. Gabrielle, welcome. I think you're new, so welcome.
Yes, I'm new. I'm getting my car on Friday morning, so extremely excited to get it, and can't sleep for 2 weeks, I guess. Yeah,
Thanks.
I've got a couple questions for you guys, so to not take too much of your time. One question that I have is regarding the adapters to charge it, because I tried to do my homework a little bit, but I got more confused than when I started to do my homework. So I'm not too sure whether I have to, for living in Western Australia, if I have to get plenty of adapters to be able to drive around. So do you guys mind clarifying my?
Sure. So initially, the good news is you don't need to get anything immediately. So when you get your awesome car, in the boot, there'll be a square sort of bag that'll have what Tesla calls a UMC, a universal mobile connector. It'll have a 10 amp tail that looks a little like this, that you plug into the connector. So this end goes into a 10 amp power point, and the other end, once it plugs into the connector, there's a type 2 plug that plugs into your car. So just at home, that will charge your car at about 12 kilometers per hour. So overnight, you'll get at least 120 kilometers of added range just overnight while you're sleeping. As well as this 10 amp tail, you'll also get a 15 amp tail, which looks the same. It's just that this bottom earth pin is slightly thicker or taller. So if you had a 15 amp power point at home, you could basically get 50% faster charging. So that's the initial thing. You've obviously got the supercharger at Karrinyup if you want to charge your car very quickly. There are also type 2 chargers. So what you should do is get an app called PlugShare. You can actually...
I already got it. I got the PlugShare and the Fox one.
ChargeBox. Okay. So with PlugShare, one thing you need to be careful of is you need to set which plugs you want to have as being visible. So in your case, with a brand new car, you should have the Tesla fast plug enabled, CCS enabled, Tesla enabled, and that's it for the time being for now. Okay. So just with those 3 plugs enabled, if you look on the map, even just in Perth, you can actually see that all of the locations that you can, well, almost all of the locations you can charge at. Some of these actually you can't charge. So for instance, I think Lexus of Perth, they don't allow Teslas there at the moment. And for instance, the Audi, the Audi Centre, I think, is strictly after hours for other cars. But you've obviously got the Karrinyup Supercharger. You've got the Gwelup Shopping Centre. None of these orange pins, they're actually fast DC chargers. None of those pins need adapters of any kind. In fact, none of these pins, if you've got these plugs, Tesla Fast, CCS, and just Tesla, all of these locations need no adapters of any kind. Now, depending on, look, if you live or work near a location that has a type 2 charger, which is this one here, and if I just turn this on, in fact, if I just turn it only on, then you'll see all the locations that have a type 2 charger. So
I live in Como. I can see one there on the left.
Yes. So Como at Horizon Power. Oh, sorry. There's one. Oh, the Pagoda. Oh, that's new. Oh, actually, I think I have seen that one at the Pagoda. That's
when you go in for the restaurant.
It's payment required. Yes. So
if you eat there, you the destination charge is free. The Tesla one.
Cool.
But the other one you're going to pay.
Cool. And also there's a Horizon Power one as well. So this one needs a Type 2 cable. So it looks a little bit like...
Sorry to interrupt you.
Go
so
on.
this Type 2 cable will not come in my car. I would have
No.
to buy it separately.
So it's a bit hard to see here. It's green, but there's a plug here, and the other side goes into the car, and that's a Type 2. Excuse me. It's a Type 2 to Type 2 cable. You can get them from lots of different places. If you're a member of the club, if you go to tokwa.org.au and click join, it costs you a whole $20 per annum. And one of the benefits that gets you, apart from participating on Ask Us Anything for free, which anyone can do, obviously, one of the benefits is you get to borrow things like spare tires, charging adapters, and a few other loan items. And the other thing you can do too is the club provides a 7.5 meter Type 2 cable for $265 to members. If you find that that's something that's useful in your situation. I guess out of all the different adapters, I mean, I've got gazillions of adapters, but the Type 2 to Type 2 cable is probably one of the adapters that would be most useful for most people most of the time.
And also there's quite a big difference in price between the 7.5 meter cable and the shorter 5 meter ones. So the advantage of the 7.5 meter cable is if there's someone parked in the charging spot, a petrol car that's parked in there, then you can still park in the parking spot next door and the cable should still reach. Yeah.
All right.
So for that, if you wanted to buy one of those cables, just send an email to secretary@tokwa.org.au. I'll actually
TOCWA.
Yes, I'll just put that in the chat.
Yes, thank you.
Harold, just a quick one. Is it worth buying the Type 1 as well, or is the Type 1 not really worth it? Is that
not at all?
It's Type 2, Type 1.
Pointless.
I've had the Type 1 for 2.5 years, and I've used it once. And the only reason why I used it is because I went out of my way to use it to see if it actually even works. So
I've actually had a Type 1 to 2 adapter cable, and I've used it a heap. But that's because around me there are a few older Type 1 chargers. So I have used it. And even where I live at Baldivis, there were 2 Type 1s and 1 Tesla charger. Frequently that Tesla charger is being used because there are other Tesla owners in my area. How dare they? That's mine. So I have to use one of the Type 1s. One's broken, but the other Type 1 is still usable. So I've used it a lot, but it's beginning to get less and less.
You'll be charging at a very slow rate though.
It's not really worth it then, generally.
Gabriel, just on a question about your situation, do you plan to always charge not at your house? Have you not got the facilities to charge where you live?
Yeah, so it's a bit complicated because I'm building a house in North and it's not ready yet because of lack of labor. And I'm renting now here in Como. So where I live now, there is really not a power point where I can reach. So I'm not going to be able to charge it home. But I go to city working by bike every day. So I'm not going to be using every day, just like during night. So I don't know how will be my new habits now, because before I didn't used to drive much, but now I guess I will find excuse to drive somewhere. So yeah, I have to find out how it's going to be my routine from Friday onwards.
So Gabriel, you said you haven't really got charging where you're renting. I mean, are you parking your car on the property, like at the house, or is it off on the street?
No, there's like kind of a condominium. So you have like a car base here, but everyone has your own car base, but there's no power point there.
Oh, so it's a condominium. It's like a block of flats. It's multi apartments. Right. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
It's houses, but yeah, it's pretty much. I can't show now because it's dark there. But yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Have a good look. I mean, if you've got an instant gas hot water, are you parking your car near where your house is, or where your property is, or is
Yeah,
the bay next to the house, near the house?
like 20 meters roughly, I would say.
Okay, so something that is a possibility is there might be an external power point on the outside walls, and if there isn't, if you've got something like a Rinnai instant gas hot water service, that will have a power point. So you could put a double adapter on that and run an extension cord to do, if necessary. But there is actually close to you, there is a better option, and I'll just bring it up.
I know the gas station. Yep.
No. At Curtin University, which is not too far away, there's a 22 kilowatt DC charger, which will charge your car at about 150 kilometers per hour. So what you could do is you could sort of chill there, and of course you can watch Netflix on your screen, YouTube, and all that sort of stuff. So there's actually a DC charger here, and like I said, that you'll gain 150 kilometers of range per hour there. There's also, like I said, there's if you get the Type 2 cable, there is Horizon Power as well. In the city, if you happen to park at the convention centre, sorry, I've got to go to three-phase. There is another possibility. And at the convention centre, there ought to be, yes.
I think that's a Type 1 at the convention centre.
Yeah, I think it's Type 1 there, mate.
No, there's that's just that, but there's also the three-phase, which is here. There's a three-phase outlet.
Yeah, there is too.
Which is a possibility. So Gabriel, if you happen to regularly park at the convention centre, that's a place you can charge.
Just bear in mind, when you park there, you can't just leave your car there all day and let it sit there and charge for 10 hours and expect that you're going to be comfortable doing that every day, because there's sort of etiquette around charging. So you need to go back to your car and actually move it once it's finished charging. You couldn't just leave it there all day at work.
Yeah, I've been seeing on the Facebook group people that do that, and yeah, I'm not gonna be one of them. And another thing that I have plenty of questions, but regarding this matter again, just quickly, I couldn't find all the places, the locations that I have to pay the parking, either parking or the charging itself. So sometimes it doesn't say in the Fox thing. How do you guys do? You just memorize like tip of your head already?
No, so you can look on PlugShare. So if we look at the convention center, it will tell you in PlugShare that basically payment is required for. Actually, that's incorrect. The parking's not free at all.
Exactly my question.
So apologies for that. In this case, PlugShare is mistaken. The parking does cost you a fair bit of money, but there's no fee for charging. The same applies, for instance, to Pier Street car park. And that's a similar situation where they have a three-phase outlet. You can actually see it just here. And in this case, PlugShare correctly says that parking is you pay. So, but there's no actual payment for charging itself. Just trying to find somewhere where there is payment. Oh, and look, another possibility too is if you go to RAC headquarters in Wellington Street, there's actually an ultra-fast DC charger, and this will actually charge your car at hundreds upon hundreds of kilometers per hour. So you really would be able to charge up quite quickly. Bearing in mind, you don't need to charge your car. It's not like a petrol car where you wait for it to get empty and then you fill it all the way to the top. You can basically just let it get down to say 30%, and then you can charge it to 80% or 70%. And because if you're doing fairly short trips, you can just sort of waver between 30, 20, up to 70, 80. So because the last bit of charging from, let's call it 80% to 100%, is a lot slower than from 20% to 70%.
Yes, that would be another question. So I saw that we have to keep it between 20 and 80 to a better maintenance. And I'd like to know if you guys actually really do it.
Which
No, no,
battery
so-
have you got?
Doable.
What car have you got? Is it a standard range? Is it just a standard Model 3?
No, the performance one.
Awesome. Good choice. Okay, so in your case, I can show you when you set the charge level. Okay, so what you
I
basically
would go for the long range one, but when I did the test drive, I changed my mind. So whatever, let's go crazy and drive like it's stolen.
Awesome. So when you set your limit, what?
That's bold.
So when you set your charge limit, you should set it to 90%, because unlike this image here, what you will see is the word daily here and trip here. So you should set your car to no higher than 90% for daily charging. If it was a standard range Model 3 with the LFP battery, you can set it to 100% all day, every day. But in this case, in your awesome performance car, you should set it to 90%. Now, if you forget and you've sort of set it to 100 and you do that a couple of times, the car will actually notify you and say that continually charging at these high levels will degrade your battery. And then it will ask you, do you want to reduce or adjust the charging capacity? And if you say okay, it'll automatically just lower it to 90%. So just keep it no more than 90% for daily use. But of course, if you're going on a long trip, you can absolutely charge to 100%, but just try and aim to start using the car shortly after you've charged it to 100%. So one pro tip is, say if you've got a trip in the morning, charge it to 90% overnight. This is if you can charge at home, of course. And then when you get up, just
another day.
Up it to 100%. While you're having a shower, breakfast, coffee, whatever, in the next half an hour or so, or 40 minutes, it will get pretty close to the 100%, and then you're ready to drive off. But yeah, I definitely would, for the sake of convenience, I'd have a good look at where you're living and just see if there is a scope to have an extension cable. Now, if it's a long extension cable, there's no problem with that. But you may want to, say, for instance, buy a heavy duty extension cable so you're not getting too much voltage drop in the cable, which is just wasted energy. But, all these cables are rated at the 10 amps, so it's perfectly safe to use an extension cable. It's just not quite as efficient as if you can plug straight into an outlet. But do have a look at that. It's definitely worth it.
And Gabriel, you can always think about asking the landlord to put one in for you as well, or the strata company to put in. All you need is, if there's power there already, or if it's close to the site main switchboard or another subboard or something, all you need is a 3-phase 5-pin 32 amp socket. They're $100, $150, and depending on how far you've got to pull cables and whether you French, what have you, it could be as cheap as $400.
We were in a rental for 3 years, and I paid the landlord to put in a 15 amp socket outside, and that was fine for 3 years. So
Harrod will probably pay for it with his credit card anyway, Gabriel, so don't worry about the cost.
Yeah, there is a car bay just next to mine. That is the car wash car bay here. But I'm pretty sure if I plug in there, people are gonna complain. So I really don't want to bother to do that. But
if you're only, if you just need a quick little top up, and if you're there with the car while you're charging, and then that way, if someone comes and they need to use the bay, then you can unplug and go. So.
But my concern is not that, because nobody actually used this car bay for car wash. They just sticking extra cars there. But my concern is them complain that I'm using a common energy, and I really don't want to get to this point too.
Yeah, sure.
Although it's like, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 bucks. I don't want to get my neighbor to
complain.
tell me off.
Harold, one thing you missed before as well was with the charge limits, you can also do it from the app on your phone, not just from the car. So if you do think that your charge it's on charge and you've got an 80 and you want to change to 90, you just slide it across and it'll actually update on your phone as well.
Cool.
So that's the functionality. And one thing that Harold said before about leaving it at 100, you can set a departure time to make it time to leave at 100% exactly when you want to leave. So if you want to leave at 7 a.m., you just say get to 100 at 7 a.m. and then at 7 a.m. it'll be at 100.
Like iPhone does by out of the box. iPhone already does it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Another question, quickly, guys. The full self-drive thing. So when I was buying it, I saw that I have these luxury tax, whatever, and then I did my homework how to decrease it and avoid to pay tax. And I did take it away, so I no longer have the full driving thing, but I will put it later, so that I don't spend. Yeah,
you can do it the day you pick up the car. So when you collect your car, as you're sitting in the car, you can just go onto your Tesla app and go into upgrades, and it will invite you to pay $10,100, and you click yes, and it will just do it through your credit card instantaneously. Within about 30 seconds, your main screen will flash off. It'll come back on again. A few seconds later, it'll flash off again, and then come back on again, and you'll have full self-driving.
Yeah, I saw that, but then I didn't understand because there are two options apparently. I don't know if I'm mixing up with the US, but there's an option that you pay 200 or 100 per month, and another one that you pay 10,000. So what's the difference between them? Yeah.
The difference is in Australia, or the only option currently is to either pay $10,100 or nothing. So in America, I think is it $199? I think that's right. US.
Yeah, $199.
Yep, $199 per month if you want to effectively rent full self-driving subscription. And so it's a cancelable monthly subscription. But in Australia, all you've got at the moment is the option of just the $10,100. Now, one good thing is it's actually at a slight discount. Was that about a 30% or 40% discount to what the Americans are paying? Because they are paying approximately $10,000 US for full self-driving, whereas we're paying about 10,000 Australian. But that's because notionally in the States, they have more features that are more available, sort of, namely the full self-driving beta trial, which we don't have in Australia for the time being. The good news is, though, you don't have to worry about the price going up overnight. Tesla generally will give you at least 2 or 3 days notice of it going up. And then you can decide in those 2 or 3 days whether you want to commit the 10,100 to lock in that feature, because notionally, once it's fully available in Australia, you will get it for free. And that even means if your car needs a hardware upgrade or camera upgrade or anything to enable that feature, when you've paid for it, you will get it at no additional cost. But you could also wait for the subscription model, because it will come to Australia clearly, because it is in America. And it's a matter of, do you want to just do the pain now? And well, if you've got nothing better to do with the $10,000, then you could invest it in full self-driving. But as far but as far as features go, the main difference is full self-driving will stop at red traffic lights. It'll stop at stop signs. It'll stop at roundabouts. It'll stop at some give way signs, but not all. It'll also automatically do what's called navigate and autopilot, which is on the freeway. it'll automatically take an off ramp, usually fairly well. Well, actually, off ramps are pretty good. So there's a few features. It'll also do parallel parking and perpendicular parking by itself when you tell it to.
And it will overtake cars on the freeway as well. If there's a dual carriageway, it will monitor the speed of both lanes. And if it knows that your cruise control is, let's say, 110 and you're behind a truck going 90, it will put the indicator by itself and it will overtake. Yeah,
Nice.
which is pretty cool.
What about the other one, this Solomon, something like that, the one that picks you up? Does it work in Australia or here in Western Australia or not really?
Yeah, Pete's got a video of that. You could probably bring that up if you wanted to see it in action.
Oh, good on you, Russell. Thanks for the shout out.
The summon does work.
Later.
So
I've
that
used
works
it myself as well.
Nice.
Pete's got a pretty pumping YouTube channel. You probably subscribe to it and get all the latest features on Teslas if you wanted to get ahead of the curve.
Oh, cool. What is it, the channel? What is it called?
Ahead of the curve Tesla.
All right.
I only worked out on Summon today. You got to set the target. I've just been having it going in and out of the carport. I didn't know you could actually get it turning and stuff. Hey.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, the summon that you're doing, Damo, that's just the summon to like move it out if you park close to a wall or something. But the smart summon works in car park, so you can drop the pin. So if you just want to move your car backwards and forwards to like get something out of the way, that's just, you're doing it correctly. But if you want to pick yourself up from the lift at the shopping centre, then yeah, you need to drop the pin.
Yeah, I only worked out like sort of, I've been playing with it last couple of days and I only worked out like you've got to set that little target, like scroll your screen around and then it gives you that blue line, like where it's going to travel.
That's it. And it will come to you from up to about 50, 60 metres away, but it's got to be a private car park. So if it thinks it's a public road, it will be geofenced so that it won't work. But, any shopping centre is a private car park because it belongs to the shopping centre owners. Most car parks are private.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm really enjoying learning the FSD. I reckon it's awesome.
Yeah, cool.
I'm just getting back to Pete's.
With the summon stuff. Oh, yeah, go for it.
I was just going to say, getting on to important things, this is Pete's channel. So if you just search Ahead of the Curve with Pete.
No, you got to search for Tesla Ahead of the Curve on YouTube. You search for, I don't know, I've got to change that. But if you search for Ahead of the Curve with Pete, it doesn't, mate, it's come up.
Probably because you've subscribed, that's why.
Yeah, so, it's probably subscribed, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
So, but just type in Tesla Ahead of the Curve and then you'll find it.
So, right, cool. I could unsubscribe, but I wouldn't want to do that to you, Pete. So I highly recommend you do subscribe to this channel. You'll notice that his latest video has got 1,700 views. And that's basically demonstrating why internal combustion engines versus Model 3, it's just not a fair contest because the Model 3 wins every time.
I saw that.
Looks
and
like
he's also
you haven't watched them all, mate. What's going on there?
Well, I've seen. Whatever. I've seen this video because I was there. I was watching it live.
Yeah, true.
But
I watch back all the Tokwas each week, even from in them.
Actually, speaking of Tokwa, Gabriel, and anyone else who's interested, and even if you're not, I'm going to tell you anyway. If you look up Tokwa, this is our channel, and for instance, our last week EV Highway Special went for only 4 hours and 40 minutes and 54 seconds.
Is that a record?
That is the record. That's the record. And we did look up last week that Ben-Hur only ran for 3.5 hours. So we're smashing out episodes bigger than Ben-Hur every time, literally. And we've also got a couple of pro tip videos. So there's a playlist which has navigate using a smartphone, road tripping, charge port opening, setting and changing your home or work location, and a few other things as well.
Is there a handy
Sorry,
hint there?
Helen.
Is there a handy hint there to get a pussy off your head? Russell might need to get his pussy off his head there.
I was waiting for the pro tip on how to use the credit card.
And
Is that
I've
gonna
just
go
noticed
there?
that Richard Chapman's got another pussy going on. So there you go. Look at that.
Sorry,
Okay.
Helen. How do you spell that? I couldn't see. The quality is not very good.
Oh, sorry.
So,
Okay.
Tokwa.
So if you just search Tokwa, TOCWA,
CWA. All right.
Tokwa, Tesla Owners Club of Western Australia.
You
Right.
do need to put out that warning, Harold, that you're not allowed to be on prescription drugs when you're watching these shows, because it's had
This
a
is
lead.
true. Now, if you go to tokwa.org.au, you've got that. So, and then you can just join for, like I said, a whole $20.
Australian, American.
Australian, Australian. And we, on this website, we feature our casual meetups. We've got years and years of content. This is actually an article written by Pete of the economics of a Model 3 compared to an average ICE car. So we keep our members up to date on the website, and we've also got the Facebook page as well. So if you just look under Tokwa in Facebook.
Yeah, they've got the YouTube channel is on repeat at Guantanamo as well. So that's why there's so many views.
Hey, there's a copyright on that one, Russell. Okay.
And don't forget,
What's rehashing my work? What's going on?
And you can also go to patreon.com/Tokwa and donate more money.
Yes, we're on Patreon. At
How many
Patreon.
patrons have we got, Harold? Have we got any more than the initial two or
three?
Three.
Oh, sorry, Nigel.
I'm going to have a little look.
And with regard to prescription drugs, if you're watching the 4 hours, you may need prescription drugs to keep watching it.
Yeah, we still have. We are on Patreon, and we currently have three patrons. Sorry. So there are three levels. There's an SR Plus at $3 a month. There's a long range at $10 a month, and then there's a performance at $25 a month.
We've got to get a plaid level.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm happy to join, Harold, but at the moment there's no what are we going to offer people for actually paying this money? There's got to be some sort of incentive, right?
Warm and fuzzy feeling, Russell.
Well, yes, apart from that warm and fuzzy feeling, for a plaid level, there might be sort of like an Ask Us Anything After Dark late episode, perhaps.
What about a splash screen?
You mean like Russell's photos?
That's right. In fact, Russell would be one of the main participants because Pete's got a pair of short shorts, and
What about at the start of every episode, there's a splash screen that says thanks to our Patreons and list the names.
Yeah, so we could do that in some episodes where you do that at the end, so you make sure that the Patreons actually watch it the whole way through.
Yeah,
4 hours.
That's cruel.
Pretty cruel.
Well,
Also,
there is
too,
something
I
called
think
the
we can
skip
also,
button.
There's actually the YouTube channels also for scientific purposes where they're looking for cures for insomnia, and so far this is the closest thing they found. So
It is. There is a warning that if you suffer from narcolepsy, you should definitely stay away. But insomnia is definitely an indicated treatment. Is watching our Ask Us Anything.
that or ABC Radio.
Another one.
A couple of questions.
He's getting you there, Jared.
He's fucking.
Okay, let's before we do the After Dark stuff, let's do some more questions. Someone said there was another question.
Yeah, can I ask a couple of questions. I've been on a couple of times, and I finally picked my car up tomorrow morning. It's only an SR Plus with the LFP battery, but it is a unicorn, I believe.
It will
Yes,
be
it
the
is.
one with their hand up, Harold Barry.
Oh, sorry, Barry. Everyone, please don't put your hands up. Just just shout out and go, hey, I've got a question. Sincere apologies, Barry.
I will defer.
The reason why I don't see it is because I'm looking at this screen up here. It's a teleprompter, and you are actually right to my left, so I just didn't see. Sincere apologies, Barry. Shoot.
No, it's okay. No. Pizza, and I had the car in auto steer, and I got the warning chimes. When I looked at the center screen, the car had been replaced by a red steering wheel and a red brake pedal and some writing, but it disappeared before I could read it. And that actually happened twice. Any ideas what that might be?
It's probably. Have you got FSD or is it?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So what it will do. So let's say you were to be approaching a roundabout.
Yeah.
Or red lights or a T intersection or something, is basically just telling you to, take over. It's basically saying, look, I can't steer, anymore from here on. It's time for you to take over ASAP. So if you don't have FSD, it will do it. Yeah, you can replicate it with a roundabout or a T intersection fairly easily.
It's a bit strange because I pretty much always drive on auto steer since I've had the car, and it happened twice today. It's never happened before.
Was it good pizza, Barry?
Yeah, pretty good.
Were you going for good pizza? I mean, like,
Yeah. They stuck pineapple on it for some strange reason. I didn't ask for it, but
So for the benefit of people watching on YouTube, you won't be able to have heard what Barry asked, as did I, basically because I had a little outage, just that little bit there on Starlink. So, and that was at 9:07 for 10 seconds. So I actually missed the first part of your question. So apologies for that, Barry.
I think Richard Chapman calls that with his Starlink.
That's actually my second question.
You're right.
Is how are you getting on with the Starlink now, Richard and Nigel, given the fact, Nigel, you commented earlier you weren't getting the rates you were?
No, I'm only getting about 85 down. This is through speed test, Ookla speed test, and about 25 up. But it's about the same as what I was getting with my previous ISP.
Yeah, I only get 40 on my current ISP because that's all NBN can give me. I ordered the Starlink immediately after the Ask Us Anything 2 weeks ago when everyone was raving about it. But all it says is due in 2022.
Yeah, we're close for Christmas.
Which arguably is actually just about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
But it doesn't say when in 2022.
2 weeks? Really? Yeah, that's all.
Any idea when you're going to be finished here?
2 weeks.
How long will it take to put?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it could be January, or it could be December.
Barry, I just did a check just on my phone here to see what I'd be getting. It's where's the camera?
There you go. Back.
250 megabit down, and what's that? 38 up.
That's slow.
38.
That's really slow.
I only got 190, and
I'm jealous.
This is with me streaming all this on Zoom. So
Yeah,
this
oh,
is the
and
one
watching.
active connection.
And
I've disconnected the Wi-Fi that came with the Starlink, and I've just got it straight into my own router.
That's it.
No,
I got rid of that almost immediately. It's a heap.
Well,
of
how have you got those figures, Richard?
Take a moment for some reason.
into my existing router.
Oh.
So you went in from your phone.
Yes.
It does it through Wi-Fi, from the phone to the Wi-Fi router.
Yep.
That comes with Starlink.
No, you don't need to. You can just plug it into your own router, into the WAN port.
Yes,
and
that's what I've done.
and then your phone goes to Wi-Fi to your router to the dish, because the dish is its own internet. It's its own network connection.
Yeah, but if I go to my Starlink app, it says it's disconnected.
Yes. So there's two settings. You can see here. Actually, I can screen share. So then if you go, oh no, I can't. Sorry, forget that. The speed test does a speed to the router, which is the middle one, if it's connected. But in your case, Nigel, it'll say nothing if you don't have it connected. And then the next one is the phone. For some reason, the router is always slower than whatever you're testing on.
Weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine does not allow me to do that.
I got rid of the router it came with immediately. It's crap. It's just get a better. You can get a better router off of Amazon for $100. You know, like I don't know. I had a good Netgear router already, so I just exactly as Harold said, just set it all up, plugged it straight into the WAN port. Happy days. Don't even need to change Wi-Fi passwords or anything.
No, that's right. But Nigel, I think your issue when you use the app, you don't. When your app just shows your router as your dish is being disconnected, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to set up a static route or route to the address 192.168.100.1, and you need to tell that to go to the WAN port, basically to the gateway, to the internet, because when your phone app is trying to talk to the dish, it's using a local address that's on a different subnet to what your router is using. So your router is probably 192.168.0.something.1.
Harold, I think something like that.
Harold, you got to remember that Nigel's a lot older than yourself. So, you got to speak slower and louder, and maybe even draw pictures.
Okay.
It's not going straight to the.
Thank you, young Jared. So just hang on a second, because I can do this, and that's what I'm getting. Okay. So I can share.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
With that program. So if I go and click on speed, oh, hold on. Now that's working. I had the disconnected.
Don't believe you.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you getting now? Hang on, let's just see how much you're getting.
Let's have a look. See, that's what I said. About 85, I would have been getting. 89. You see, it's nowhere near your 200.
Yeah, but Nigel, are you connected at 2.4 gig to your router, or are you connected at 5 gig?
I've got Wi-Fi 6 here.
Ooh, Wi-Fi 6.
Ooh.
AX.
Okay.
So there you go. I've got 89 and 21.
That's not too bad.
Oh, and it works. That's what I've been running everything on. It's no slower than what I had before. It's just a third as slow as I was expecting, bugger it.
It's twice as good as I get.
Nigel, connect a computer directly into the router and do it again.
Yeah.
Sorry, who said that, Russell?
No, me.
Sorry, Richard.
So you connect, directly wire a computer into the router and then try it again from there, because if you're talking, there might be another issue as to why your phone is not talking very fast to your router.
Look, when I initially got the Starlink, I set it up on the back lawn, and just had that as its own little system, and I got 160-ish and 170.
So you might need to reboot it and start again,
but
maybe fresh.
But your phone may have connected at a faster speed to that router at that time if you were a lot closer.
Well, it was using the Starlink Wi-Fi router, and that was not connected to anything except my phone. Now I've got it all connected in without that Wi-Fi router in through my own router and into my hubs and so on.
Yes, but it depends on what speed your phone is connecting to that router at. because it will derate the speed that it connects to the router if you're a lot further away from it.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't know if you can actually check. It depends on what system you've got, Nigel, whether you can differentiate between the 2.4 gig.
No, I'm on the 5 gigahertz.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. That
He's
should
not
generally
that
be
old.
pretty
He's-
quick.
He's not that old.
How far away are you from it?
I'm not that old, Jared. Piss off.
How far away are you physically from it?
Well, I've got a mesh network, so I'm not all that far. I mean, it's only just over there in that room, and another one over there. So,
yeah,
I've got a full signal, and it's on 5 gigahertz.
Depends how many hops it's got, and depends how quickly those mesh network devices.
But it
talk
could
to
be
each
my router, which is about 20 odd years old.
Yeah, that could be a major factor. So you go down and buy yourself a dream machine by Ubiquity and get that, and that'll solve
I've
all
heard
your
that there's a
issues.
few problems with Ubiquity.
Oh, there's no problems with Ubiquity. Not one issue. I mean, if you have a look behind me, you'll see about 7 of their devices. I have no problems with Ubiquity. Very, very powerful device, and very fast. So
Yeah.
no problems getting my Pentnet in it.
Yeah, look, that was the next thing I was going to do, but I mean, it's not too bad at the moment. Yeah, 90 down is about what I was getting. Oh, by the way, that is through VPN as well.
Oh, no, well, Nigel, you got to stop. Well, the VPN, that's affecting it. So
No, it actually doesn't take off very much. I did it with and without.
No, it would take off quite a bit actually.
It doesn't.
Just connect it. Just connect the computer to it, and then run the speed test, and then that will give you an accurate.
Yes, I have, and it was 89 with it, with the VPN working, and it was about 81 without.
No. Physically connected to the router with a computer.
Yeah.
It was at the lawn bowls. Or was it?
Okay, so now everyone that's interested in Tesla and not SpaceX is already catatonic at the moment. So that's good. They're deep in a coma. So watch out when you wake up. You're not going to have a kidney, but that's okay.
Well, one last thing, Nigel. Have you checked for obstructions on through the app?
Yeah, I've got no obstructions.
Okay.
Well, it's actually that's funny you say that, Richard, because have a look at this.
I think you were saying you had outages, and oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I've got tons of obstructions, but they're not real. They're just
virtual.
They're just virtual, or unless there's a bird that's sitting on a dish or something every now and then. But I don't think so. But it's picking up all these weird obstructions when I know there's nothing there.
Richard, are you getting any?
And when you go to outages,
I've got tons of them, tons. So on the
Richard,
stats,
are you getting obstructions where you are?
Richard, all that.
No, mine says there have been no outages 2 seconds or longer in the past 12 hours.
Yeah, what about obstructions? Any obstructions?
No, nothing.
Nothing at all.
So I had that 10 seconds when Barry caused the dish to go catatonic and just refused to listen to him.
That's because Barry's got the screensaver from Apple's one of the laptops back in 1983, I think it was called. That screensaver behind you, Barry.
That's one of the.
That's a photograph I took of the Trifid Nebula.
I thought that was
Trifid Nebula. Yeah, definitely.
I thought that was one of the first Hubble images when they hadn't had the optics done properly.
No,
that's a cracker. That's a cracker photo, Barry.
No, that's taken in the observatory in my back garden.
Wow,
fantastic!
Thought it might have been a examination from Nigel.
Which I had a back garden, a little like that.
Just like the back garden, but not really.
I think that was actually your gastroenterologist, Jared, when he was doing your colonoscopy.
There's no polyps that we can see. But yeah, so I've had tons of little outages, normally just a few seconds, and that actually that happened after a software update. I think I had a software update.
Because mine literally says there has been no. You can't really see it, but
yeah.
But No.
How many days you had yours, Richard? 2 days?
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, so you're on the new package. For the first week, everything works fine.
works great. Yeah,
Everything's
so-
great. And then the second week, it starts
Yes,
going to
because
shit.
what happens then is they actually upload a new firmware update for it, and then they mess it up.
Oh.
Anyway, but it's all
Do you
good.
have a choice, Harold, to choose not to update the device, or not let you operate it if it's on old firmware?
I don't know. What happened was there was a morning when I woke up and I saw that the dish had reset. It said that it had rebooted, and it was an outage for 17 minutes or something like that, and there was a dish reset. So I surmised that it had done a software update. In fact, actually, Richard, if you have a look at if you go to support, no, it's not support. Is it troubleshooting?
Settings.
Settings, sorry. Now I'm going to get the
Advanced.
software update settings.
And then go to advanced.
Here we go. Version. Okay, Starlink. So I've got, I'll just try and make this. There we go.
Richard, you put your dish on the roof?
Sure did.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Okay, device ID. I'll just hide that.
It's
from
only
the
a temp
interwebs.
install too.
Oh, really?
Okay, can you see that? So I've got this release here, which it's an OA1, whatever, blah de blah. Can you see that, Richard? Or was it a bit too small?
Yeah, it's a bit blurred. Can you
Okay, so I can do the first. Yeah, it's 0A1098C3 dash.
I'm a bit ahead of you. I think it's actually the same.
Okay, so and the last digits, the last lot of digits are 207E58FFAC3D dot.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Release. Yeah.
Well, anyway, so my dish it seemed to wake up, and then ever since it's had lots of little outages, but only little ones.
So based on your experience, Harold, the firmware update seems to be pushed, not a choose to do.
Oh yes, it's pushed. Yes, it's like it's. I was going to say it's sort of like your cars, but in the sense your car, you do have to actually do it. But I think it's pushed. I think it's a pushed update.
That you've got obstructions though. I wonder if there's. I don't want to think about a physical issue with your dish, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not
Could be
sure.
Santa just getting a head start, flying over.
True.
Rich kids in your area, mate. I'm pretty sure needs a few trips to drop them presents off, I reckon.
Yeah, no present.
Oh dear.
Hey, Harold, would you guys know, let's say, so what I've done is I've set my dish up, but when I set it up, I had a couple of palms that were sort of in the way.
Oh, yeah. It's great. We got the video, Pete? Can we see the video of the palms? Come on, let's see the video of the palms. Let's see the video. The video of the palms is good. I love it.
No. I can't find it at the moment.
Yeah, it's at the insurance company.
But yeah, by the way, I still haven't fixed that section of the fence.
Don't say that, Pete. It's a pool fence. No, of course you have. You've made it temporary. You've made temporary work, so it's all secure.
Absolutely.
I know. I've done that, but I haven't replaced that section. So because otherwise, if I wouldn't do that, the dog gets in and he thinks he owns the place. He just goes for a swim a couple of times a day.
So you're going to ask?
No. He just, I'm just.
No, sorry.
so
You were going to say, Pete? Yeah, go on.
Sorry. So now that the palms are gone, what I'd like to do is get the dish to rescan the sky.
Yep.
Do I have to get up there with the app and do the whole thing? Oh.
No, you can just on your app tell it to stow. So if
Yeah,
you
I've done that, and it's gone to the exact same position. So it
yes,
didn't-
because yep, and the position it's slightly tilted at about 20 odd degrees to the horizon southwards. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. That's what it wants to be. That's it. Job done.
Right.
That motor, I don't think that motor will ever move ever again. Once it's in its ideal sort of position, it doesn't hunt for satellites. It just orients itself in a favourable position once, and that's it.
Yeah, right.
Unless you move it.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've got a dish coming hopefully on the 20th, another one, and I'm going to mount it on the back of the car just to see if it can keep orientation driving around at least a couple of suburbs nearby.
So you reckon if you drive the car around,
Yes.
the dish will reorientate itself towards that 20 degrees south? Or?
Yeah, possibly. It should do. I've actually observed it. You know, when initially when you unstow it, it actually goes completely horizontal flat. It faces straight up. And then after a minute or two, it'll then start facing southwards.
Exactly.
So even though it was facing straight up, you still had internet. You could still do speed tests. And I've actually done it where, like I said a couple of weeks ago, I'd taken out the little spring-loaded bit of metal with two plastic nipples on it that engage the shaft into the triangular base, like those extendable pull doodads, you know,
rods.
Rods.
Poles. Yeah.
So what I did was, being an evil little leprechaun, I'd spin my dish, like as it was facing south, I'd turn it 90 degrees clockwise or anti-clockwise and do a speed test, and it was still working. So it still works even though it's not pointed in the right direction. It's just that it's not optimal. So I'm dead certain that it'll work on the car while you're driving around. And yeah, in time it might try and orient itself south. If you're on a straight piece of road, it would. But if you keep making, corners or bends or whatever, it'll probably just be happy just to stay straight upwards.
New South Wales Police have been testing it for probably 6 to 9 months.
But is that in the car, or is that just at locations like at cop shops?
You know what? I've assumed it's in the car.
I'd assume not, just quietly.
I've assumed one thing, that Pete Crosby is a very intelligent man, but should definitely not become a tree lopper. I think his tree lopping business is just got to be shut right down before it even takes off.
Yes, there may be tree loppers called. I know there's one company called Tree Wise Men. There's another one called Tree Amigos. I'm not quite sure what you call Pete's lopping business.
There's a guy called the Palm Fella.
You could be called Gate Crashers, Pete. That could be one for you.
The Gate Crasher. Pete's Gate Crashing Services.
The renovations are us.
So just back to the device on the car. So is there any terms of service that, I know you're not meant to move from your house when you use it? That's part of the deal, right? Is there?
No, not at all. No. All they say is that if you move it away from your location, they can't guarantee service at the moment. But what Elon Musk said a few months ago was that they will have worldwide roaming. It's just that it hasn't been implemented yet because it just adds another layer of complexity to the system. So at the moment, you tell the system where the dish is, and then the satellites will only attempt to talk to that dish when they are in the correct position to talk to it in that location. If you move the dish out of that sort of hexagon of coverage, they won't bother talking to it because, as far as they're concerned, it's not there and it's not on their list of dishes to talk to. So that's just for initial simplicity. Later on, they will do worldwide roaming. and I guess the good thing is if you're an early adopter, obviously capital cities and built up areas will be locked out as far as they'll say, sorry, but we've got the maximum number of subscribers in this built up area. But obviously, if we go bush, then we'll be able to roam with our dishes into the countryside because, you know, there's no one else there. So, but at the moment, it's all fixed location. So I've actually moved my dish about 4 kilometers. Oh no, maybe not that much. Maybe it's 3 kilometers by line of sight. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It's it's a short walk just to the granny flat down the acreage. Yeah, that's right, on the estate. So I've actually moved about 3 kilometers from the address that I had originally ordered it at, and I've been too scared to tell Starlink to move it just in case I interrupt the service for some weird reason. So when I get the spare dish, then it won't matter. At least I have one running all the time, and then I'll do experiments. And other people, other YouTubers have done this. They've experimented. I think one said they got 6 miles away from their address before it stopped working. But in time, it will work anywhere, which would be awesome.
Maybe Richard Cooper should take his to work with him next time. Next swing. No, Richard Chapman, sorry. Take his up to Port Edwin.
I'm already ahead of the game on trying
to
use it at work.
Oh, look, I mean, you know yourself, Richard, that's just such a no-brainer for mining companies. I mean, imagine drilling riggers and stuff like that, you know.
Innovation team at work. So, I just wanted to get a bit more data on that, and then I'll, I've already put in, I don't know. I'll let you know more if I can.
There's more important things to work on, like what flavour ice creams they're going to have in the ice cream tub at work
Quite
at the moment.
Important.
Yeah, which
and
is
milkshakes.
And milkshakes. And are they still going to keep the pink ice cream?
Of course, Gina.
Of course. Yeah.
Harold, can I change the topic? Or we?
Please do.
We're going to start talking about pussies
Go
on
on,
your head.
and after you do that, Russell, we'll give Peter Terran he's asked for 3 minutes this time. So, but of course that will be with our standard consumer warning before it. But yes.
You can go first.
Okay, Pete. All right.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, before we go to Pete, I'm just going to play this.
Is Pete just saving money by using us as a therapy team? Is that what it is? Is he like, are we like a therapy panel for him? Like he just saves the $45 instead of going to the doctor? He comes to us on Wednesday nights. Is that what it is?
Well, why not? Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
We work in mysterious ways. So I'm just going to play this.
The following segment is general in nature and shouldn't be taken as personal professional advice. Listeners should seek their own independent assessment from a qualified advisor and not rely on the general nature of information in this program.
Now, and before he does go on, I'm just going to play the first part of this.
As a Tesla owner, my self-identity is wrapped up in my car. And I can confidently tell you that the best way to care for the environment is to drive a $110,000 electric car, because it has 0 emissions. And I want you to know from the bottom of my Tesla-owning heart to you, if you don't drive a Tesla, then you're selfish and clearly hate the environment.
So there you go. So Pete, the floor is yours.
I'm not going to waste my time commenting on that. Thank you. Look, I as you know, I sort of believe that Elon's going to retire from Tesla. And I believe, and so look, I'm going to make my predictions a little bit more firmly. I mean, Elon's actually, I got some validation on this when Elon said, I'm thinking of quitting as CEO of Tesla and SpaceX and becoming an influencer. But you just take the first sentence, he's basically saying what I've been saying. So, I think that's, but no one's actually saying that. No one's believing it. No one's saying that, it's all just, sort of Elon Musk talk, sort of, and
No.
they don't believe.
But Peter, as you know, he always lurks in the background. He listens to our episodes, and he was just playing with you.
Just playing me. Sorry, I didn't push the start button. So anyway, so
go.
I'll just press on. So look, I am bearish on Tesla in the next 2 months. I'm bullish after that, very much so. Now I think the shares are going down because you still got another 8 billion to sell, and it's going to go down further. It's 940 or whatever it is now. I think it'll go down to 850 or something like that. But by the time the Q4 comes around, I think that's around about. It looks like it might be around about the 28th of January by the looks of it.
26, I think, Australia Day.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh, 26. Well, look, that's a Wednesday or something, isn't it? I think that a couple of days after that, I think it'll have maximum effect of the, Tesla being key man leaving, and so I'm going to say, look, it's going to go to $700 2 days afterwards, and that's when I'm likely to buy. And then it's going to bounce up, and it'll keep going up after that. So that's my sort of prediction. So you can sort of, it's a very hard prediction. It's almost like an analyst of old, where they all said, it's going to sort of go down to nothing and it's useless and everything. Sort of people sound like, but it's not at all what I feel like in the long term. So that's my hard prediction. You can sort of laugh at me as much as you like, but the people laughed at Kathy Wood, and and the prediction came, her things. I'm not Kathy Wood, obviously. But I just become sort of bearish lately, and for a whole range of reasons, not just only economy, Omicron and a variety of other sort of, China and all sort of stuff. So there's a lot of sort of potential negativity, and there's sort of, the economy, so people have forgotten the .com, events, it's a bit like that. Anyway. So that's my sort of feeling. And I think, the fact that he actually said that sort of thing, which is just, is really, the fact that he's actually said that is just, I think he's really giving a sort of a, sounding out, but not giving the thing away. So anyway, it's still my prediction. Let's see, you can always laugh at me then, and then I'll go and hide my head in shame. Yeah, so. But if I'm right, then buying it 700, whatever, when I sold it at 1,000 is sort of 30% improvement. So yeah. Anyway, over to someone else.
Cool. Look, there's nothing wrong. Well, put it this way: you've actually sold a parcel of shares and you've locked in a profit, and no one can take that away from you,
except the tax man.
Except the tax man.
Man.
But however, according to your thesis, you are going to buy back at a greater than 25% discount. And at worst, the tax man, providing you held your initial shares, which you probably have for more than 12 months, you'll get a 50% capital gains tax relief, so that only half of the capital gain will go to taxable income. And at worst, only half of that income will be lost to tax. That's the maximum tax bracket plus Medicare levy, et cetera, et cetera. So notionally, as long as you bought back at a discount greater than 25%, you will still be slightly in front on net shares, because you'll have enough money left over to buy the shares back, basically. Ignore, with including the tax effects. And then all that does is it pulls forward a tax payment that you're going to make eventually anyway. And if you're not going to make it, it'll be your next of kin that makes it when you shuffle off this mortal coil. So there's nothing wrong with taking profits. And the bearish thing, look, I think one thing a lot of people misinterpret with Elon Musk is, and I mean, he's actually said it. He said, what was that saying, Pete, in one of the tweets? He's dropping the kids off at the pool, because a lot of his tweets he does in the toilet, because that's probably the only time he's got a bit of quality time, because he's not working. So Elon Musk is famous, and look, he's famous because he watches Ask Us Anything, and he thinks to himself, I'm going to be mischievous. I'm going to work out how to get Peter Tarrant upset. And in fact, what he wants is to shake you out of some shares so he can buy them up cheap, because he's churning a lot of shares. But Elon Musk famously plays with media. He plays with tweets. He plays with double entendres. I mean, he said, you know, he's the what's his title, Pete, in Tesla?
The Techno King.
Techno King. And he basically said, you know, all these titles, like he was asked, was it the Wall Street Journal? He was asked in an interview about whether he wants to become CEO again. And he said, well, the CEO is just a title. It's not actually a mandated position as a company registered in the United States. You know, and he went on to say that.
Well, no, that's right. And he said that, yeah, I think it was the Wall Street Journal CEO Summit where he said it.
Yes, that's right.
Out of all places.
He did too. He said, yeah, that's right. You're all useless. You're all a useless mob. So you don't actually need a CEO. So he's actually disinterested in deposing Robin Denholm and regaining the mantle of being CEO, because as far as he's concerned, and quite rightly, it's a meaningless job title to him, because he obviously does much more than just being a CEO. Now, his thing where he did have a tweet to saying, "Oh, I'm thinking of, you know, leaving my job and becoming an influencer." I mean, that was really a very ironic tweet, because I mean, he's got 65.5 million followers on Twitter. So if anyone doesn't doubt he's an influencer already, I mean, they're at leave of their senses. You know, he moves markets.
Time Magazine didn't doubt him.
Yes. Well, you know.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Vikram. Welcome back, I think.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
Sorry, excuse us. We're just going to finish this little. No, totally cool.
Yeah.
But welcome back. We're just finishing off an Elon Musk episode. So
No worries.
So Elon Musk doesn't care about I wouldn't call it niceties. He loves poking fun at the establishment. He loves stirring the pot. You know, I think there's zero doubt that he's not going to leave Tesla for the time being. I mean, he's got more to do. He knows that, but he's also got a lot to do with SpaceX. So he's very tied up in that. So, you know, he probably only apportions less than a third of his time at Tesla. And I think at the moment, a lot of it's at SpaceX, and a little bit at Neuralink, and probably a very thin slice at the Boring Company and other things. And the thing too is Tesla is of a size now that it is probably verging on not needing Elon Musk at all. I mean, let's say a black swan event, Elon Musk wakes up dead tomorrow, which is entirely possible. As happened to, and Mark, you got your hand up, but don't die on us yet. Steve Jobs, you know, famously died, and he was indisputably one of the biggest positive influences on Apple, you know, next to Steve Wozniak. And when he died, everyone thought that Apple was done. They've done everything they were going to do. Steve was the man. And in some cases, at certain parts of Apple's progression, he was the man. I mean, when they kicked him out and Apple were in the mire and he was at Next and he bought in the operating system from Next, basically, and grafted it into what became iOS, that revolutionized Apple and got them back on the right trail again, or the right path. But he died. When he died, Apple's market capitalization was, I think, $640 billion. And now they're north of 2 billion. Is it 2
trillion?
2 trillion, sorry. They're greater than $2 trillion. So they've 3 or 4 or 5 bagged since Steve Jobs died. So yeah, obviously, if you're a day trader or a short-term trader, if you ever hear that Elon Musk dies or something dramatic like that, then that was you obviously buy shares then, because I'll be going cheaply on that shock. But Tesla is now no longer Elon Musk, whereas it used to be before. Tesla's much bigger than that.
I think the
Yeah.
people will perceive though that Elon has left Tesla and taken money and then left as a CEO, and that there's something wrong with Tesla, and that's what they'll perceive. I believe the share price, unlike Twitter and Amazon, whose share price didn't drop when the CEO left, I believe it will drop if in that situation when Elon Musk has taken money out and he's actually, so it's going to look like he's leaving a sinking ship. But he's not. It's working well. It's playing well. He's done what he wanted to do, and now the price is going to go up. But just in that first few days, I think it's going to go down. And that's just my prediction. You can,
but don't forget, he has actually increased his stakeholding in Tesla. So even though he's sold, I think it's 12 million shares approximately. I think he's actually collected more than 12 million shares in his $6.50 options. So his stakeholding in Tesla has actually increased. So firstly, he's increased his position, and also in doing so is paying a billions upon billions of dollars in tax, but he has to. And he's infamously famous for stirring the pot as far as his tweets are concerned, and doing these throwaway statements like, oh, I might just quit and become an influencer. Well, the point is he's a workaholic, he can't quit, and he already is an influencer. So it was a rhetorical, ironic question. Just like his question of, do you think I should sell 10% of my holdings? Well, it's a misleading question because, I can sell 10% of my holdings if I've got another 20% to gather up in options, because it's not, it's still being true. He has sold 10%, or he will sell 10%, but it's pointless if he's going to buy 15% of options.
If I can just get a quick, everyone doesn't believe me. Can I just ask, is there anyone out there who believes that what I've said has more than 10% chance of happening?
No.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Peter. I agree with you, but I can't be bothered dealing with selling and buying again. So in my head, I know that it's going to fall. I've got more money ready to go when it does, but I'm not selling any because I can't be bothered dealing with the risk of it actually going up and it doesn't happen. That's my call.
Yeah, I agree with that totally.
If you look at if you look at it from a risk reward perspective, so your reward is if the share price goes down by more than 25% from where you sold it. What's your average selling price for that 30%, Peter? Do you know?
I think it was about 1,000. Look, it's borderline, but I'm also concerned about the general economy. So, and other, it's not just Tesla. It's a bit, I needed to have some cash put aside.
So if you, so by putting that aside, as a strategy, if you're selling at 1,000 and your target price is 750, you think it's got, 700, you think it's going to go 700, it has to go below 750 for you to be ahead, roughly, from after tax. So even if you're right, you're only right by $50. So your upside is $50 a share. Your downside is that you lose 30% of your holding long term because you never get back in. I don't know. I just think it's a very poor risk reward ratio.
Peter, I'll give you a little bit of advice. I think you need to take the emotion out of having a share portfolio. Take the emotion out of it. Just you're running on emotion and reading obviously a lot of Who magazines while you're in the shopping line at Woolworths.
It's not in the magazines. No one else is saying it.
If you're going to do the share market, you sit on something and you watch it grow. You don't just speculate every 2 seconds. Just leave that up to other people.
There's two reasons for buying share. Peter, there's two reasons for buying shares. One is the dividends, and two is capital growth.
Yeah.
Capital growth does not happen from month to month. That's where all these other idiots go wrong. Buying and selling, it's gone up $10, I'll sell, and it's gone down $5, I'll buy. That's a good way to lose money. You don't buy shares in Tesla and look at selling them within a few months. You look at selling them 5 and 10 years down the track, and fuck all the other bits and pieces that go on in between. It's down to 950 at the moment. Whoopee bloody do. I bought mine at 400. I'm sitting pretty, and it went up to 1200. Well, whoopee bloody do again.
What I'll do is
holding on to mine.
Just look for good fundamentals, then hold.
951.
What I'll do is
I do sort of understand where you're coming from, because the volatility in the market caused from China at the moment is something that's unknown, and theoretically the share price could drop 50%. Like, that's a realistic.
Get your money out of shares and go and put it in a bank or somewhere like that if you're that concerned about it.
No, I'm not concerned.
If you're going to be so emotional about it, don't do that.
No. I think you're missing the point, Jared. You're missing the point. It's not about being scared about it. It's about capitalizing more on the opportunity.
Absolutely. But I think you need to just sit it in there and just relax and just watch it go up and down, and then go up.
Well, you can have your cake and eat it too, so you can capitalize on the opportunity, and you can still keep your long-term holding. And that's what I do. So I've got my long-term holdings in a separate account. I don't touch those shares. And then I've got a trading account where I use leverage just for short-term movements. So, and in that account, I'll even go short with the idea of then buying back. But I've never been short, and I never will be short on a net basis. But short-term movements, yes, nothing wrong with doing that. But if I blow up my trading account, that's fine. My long-term holding is still there. So
exactly.
But getting back to the point, I don't think Musk's going anywhere until Cybertruck is in volume, till semi-truck is in volume, till the Roadster is in volume, till the $25,000 car, whatever it is in volume, until full self-driving actually happens. Like, I can't see until solar roof,
energy,
like all of these different things that we know about. I don't think he's going anywhere until all of those have been delivered. I think maybe once they've got a full lineup of vehicles across the whole range and everything is going great, then I think maybe 5 to 10 years down the line, he might give up the daily running if he can find someone that is just like him somewhere. And then I think he'll just focus on SpaceX. Yeah, I know. And he admits he hates it, but he can't find anyone. So, but I don't know. There's lots
something I'll just put it on pause, and apologies for those in YouTube land, but just hang on 2 seconds. Oh, of course, we'll be right back in a flash. But I think the main thing is you got to understand, when Elon Musk says something, you've got to read right through it and look at the history. He's famous for doing when he's done completely inappropriate tweets. He loves poking fun at establishments. He sometimes pokes fun at himself. He sails very close to the wind. I mean, I know for a fact that there are Tesla employees that just shake their heads at some of the stuff that Elon Musk comes out with and go, we just wish the boss wouldn't do that.
But it's a two-edged sword in some ways, because yes, there's negatives to some of his tweets, but on the other side, I mean, that's why Tesla doesn't need to spend a single cent on advertising. I mean, you just can't buy, even if you try to buy that sort of publicity, you just wouldn't be able to do it.
What's that saying? All publicity is good publicity.
Absolutely, 100%. 100%.
But there you go. So, sorry, Vikram, you came in a bit later. So that's our little Elon Musk rant for the day. How's your car going?
Oh, yeah, not bad, Harold. It's pretty.
Thank you. Thanks for asking. Yeah, it's going good. I'm enjoying the car. You guys can hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. No, actually, I got my cable back. I sent it back, the 11 kilowatt one, and I got 22 kilowatt from them.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to pay the
Awesome.
shipping, but that was all right.
Hey,
They
Vikram,
replaced it.
Vikram, sorry.
Yes.
Are you still in the witness protection program? We can't see you.
No. Actually,
still-
what happened, I came to the shopping center
there you
to
go.
charge my car first time. Actually, I got cable today only. And I was not getting along with this Schneider box here. I didn't know how to do it. I was on phone with those Charge Fox guys for like half an hour or nearly an hour. She couldn't help. So eventually then my mind thought, oh, you guys must be online and I can talk to you guys and ask you a question, how to plug it in, because this is first time I did it.
Yes. So did it work, or is it you haven't got it to work yet?
Eventually, accidentally, it worked at the end, and that's why I'm sitting in the car. But
Okay.
initially, I tried. So I don't
So
know
what you
is the
do?
right
Okay.
procedure to
Okay.
plug it
So
in. It was showing red.
no. So what you do is you plug it into the charger first. You then plug it into your car. You then go to the app and you start charge. And then you press the green button. Now, the thing is, when you go to start charge, you've got to be aware of which side you've plugged into, because there's an A and a B, or it might be a different number.
That's
I can't
true.
remember.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, you've got to. The best thing is plug the cable in first into the charger, then into the car. Take a note of whether it's A or B, and or whatever the number is, and on the app, tell it to start charging, and then press the green button next to the where that door is, little flap. There's a green flap.
Yeah.
And then it will work every time.
Right. Okay. I think I was doing other way around. And just for your information, this cable is charging about 54 kilometers per hour.
Perfect. That's it. That's 32 amps single phase. That's exactly right. So that's that's as fast as that will possibly go as a single phase charger. The theoretical best it would have done. So how many kilometers an hour are you getting now? 54.
54, yeah.
Yeah, 54, 32 divide. That's 24 times 3. You'd get, 16. 54 Ks, 32 divide. I'll work it out. 69 Ks an hour, I think, is the maximum you could have gotten, roughly.
With a single phase?
No, if it was a three-phase charger. Actually, that's not quite right. I'll just...
9.42.
Yes, 420. 32 amps, single phase. So 54 kilometers at 32 amps divide. And then it would have been 3 by 16. 16 times 3 times. Sorry, 81 Ks an hour. So if it was a three-phase charger, you'd be getting 81 Ks. But because it's single phase, you're getting 54.
Right. It's a single phase 7 kilowatt charger. So
yeah, 7.6-ish. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But that's not too bad. If you shop for an hour, you'll get 54 Ks.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, that's right. And it's free. So that is, bonus.
Yes. And obviously, as I do say, when you get something for free, it means someone else is paying for it. But obviously, they're doing it on the basis of it's a Stocklands shopping centre. So is everyone else getting that same echo as I'm getting?
Yeah, I think it's
Okay, cool. That's okay. Cool. It's not just me going crazy. So it's a Stocklands shopping centre, and part of their environmental corporate social responsibility is to do greenhouse gas abatement and offsetting, and they have committed to put EV chargers in all their shopping centres. So they gain that benefit from you charging there, as do you. And also the presumption is that they want people like yourselves to visit the shopping centre and shop there.
Spend some money.
Yeah, and spend some money. So really, it's a triple bottom line, so that everyone wins. The environment wins, they win, and you win. So it's all good.
But Vikram, next time you go there and you're not getting on with the charger, you might want to consider buying her a drink first. Before you.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
like the cable straight in. Buy her a drink first.
That's true. That's true.
So, Vikram, have you had a lovely lady screaming in your car? Is that why you're in your car now, or just
no? Is my voice a bit clearer? Because
no, I just thought you might have had a nice blonde in your car that you were driving fast and she was screaming, and that's why you're in your car now, parked outside your house for a while. No, not true. Okay.
No. That's someone else that's in the room.
Oh, okay. Russell. That's Russell with his big furry thing that he had on the other day.
Right. I'm gonna try this thing again. I'm gonna unplug my car and I'm gonna plug it the charger in the charger first, and then in the car, then unlock the port, and then
So repeat. So what you do is just tell the car to stop charging, so you can do that in the charge screen. And then unlock the charge port, so you can do that from the charge screen as well on your car. Unplug it, unplug both ends, and then just repeat the process like I said, which is plug both ends in first, then get the app and tell it to enable that outlet, and then press the green button.
Right.
And just check that works. And I've got my fingers crossed that what I just said is right. Otherwise, if it's not, I'll modify what I said until it is right.
If it doesn't work, just beat the shit out of it.
I will give you a shout in between them. Let me try. You guys continue your discussion. Let me try that. If it doesn't work, I'll give you a shout.
Yes, cool.
Can I ask you a couple of questions if I get a chance?
Oh, so Mark, you've got your hand up. Is that?
For a while.
Okay. So, Mark, how can I help you today?
Well, I eventually picked my car up tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, so I'm looking forward to picking that up.
Yes, I actually had an image for you. I had a suggestion which came about from last week's episode, which I'm not sure if you were here last week.
No, I wasn't here last week.
Did you get any footage from your pickup? Pete?
Sorry, what was that?
Pete Pascoffy, did you get any footage of your pickup when you got your car?
I did, yeah.
Oh,
I haven't had time to chuck it up yet, but
that was last Friday.
Yeah, I know. Some of us have to work, Jared.
Oh yeah, I mean, Jesus. Okay.
That's tough.
All the slow-mos, Jared. He's getting all the slow-mo sorted. Like,
that's what it's going to be like somebody screaming in the background.
Now, you see, Mark, Pete had proposed to film his delivery experience, and I presume you may propose to film it as well. And what I did say to Pete last week was I suggested he uses one of these, which is a Phantom TMX 7510, which does...
right, yeah.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Actually, in mono, well, if you want 1280 by 800 frame resolution, it'll do 76,000 frames per second. Now, that might just
be slow-mo with that.
Yeah, well, it might be just enough so you could perhaps capture 100 frames of your delivery experience, which I think, as Pete said, you could have a split screen with a bullet and your car, and you can see whether the bullet gets to the end of the driveway before your car does as they chuff you out the door.
If I'd gone for the performance, would have got the boat in the shop, but I've only gone for a standard range, so all you'd see is the bullet, and that'd be somewhere behind it.
Oh, no. Trust me, the salespeople will be pushing your car and accelerating it out the door.
Who's your sales guy, no?
It's a girl, actually. It's a lady.
Oh, okay.
Kira, I think she's called. Kiara, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
I think
Who
she's
did you
awesome.
Pete, who'd you have? Stop looking at.
I had Ben Newen, but
I spoke to Ben today.
Kiara was there at the desk when she was handling everything. So I had like a stand-up desk set up at the delivery center. So yeah, she was the one that was managing it all.
Pete, have you got to go right to the very back of that lot to get to the pickup centre, or is it at the front of the lot? Because it's quite a long lot. That I just had a look on Google and stuff.
Yeah, you've got to go right to the back. You'll go past the COVID testing centre, and so that'll be on.
Do you have to get tested on the way past, or can you get past without being tested?
You can try and sneak through, and so that'll be on your right. But yeah, it's probably another 5-7 meters past that COVID testing centre. There's a 5 km/h speed limit there, so because there will be cars coming out, and there's basically just a wall there, and there's no mirrors. So if there's a car coming out, it's very easy to bang into another car. So just take it
Don't
really.
want to do that when I've just picked it up.
No, exactly. So just take it real easy straight past that COVID testing centre, and then you don't go straight left. That's the exit. You go further up. There's the truck deliveries on your right, but it's signed really well. And then you basically come back on yourself, and the desk is pretty much right at the front of that building.
Right, great stuff. Excellent. That's brilliant. Now, what I want to ask you,
sorry to interrupt. Good night, guys.
Sorry,
I'm just leaving. Yeah,
All right,
I'm just
Vikram.
leaving. Good night, guys.
I trust that
Thank you for
worked.
your help.
Is that-
Continue. Yeah, it worked. Yeah. That
Awesome,
was great.
fantastic. Great to
Thank
hear.
you for your help. You have a good night.
Welcome to
Cheers,
come back
guys.
anytime. Good night, Vikram.
Cheers. Bye.
Now, Gabriel, you've got your hand up. Were you ready to ask a question? Or if... Yep.
Yes. Regarding the delivering thing, I'm getting mine with Jamie, and I asked him how long would that take to do like the whole process of delivering, and he said, "Oh, it can go as fast as I give you the key and you fuck off," literally, he said. And I said, "Oh, okay," because I think I've spent more time reading about Tesla than I spent to write my master thesis. So I think I'm ready to just drive away. And I want to ask you guys if something like useful I'm gonna get from waiting his lecture about where to put a key, where to press to accelerate and stuff like that. I'm pretty confident I'm all right to drive away.
Yeah, you are. So let's just say we know infinitely more than all of the salespeople combined. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful. It's just from learned experience and the pooled experience. We've got decades of driving Teslas between us, even in this room as we speak now. And yet we're still learning things. But as long as you're comfortable with well, you know, you just adjust your mirrors, you know how to put the car in drive, it's got the same pedals as an ordinary car, you can just go. So just get them, just for speed, to set your phone as a key, because I'll give you 2 credit cards. They're actually black, but they're just like ordinary credit cards. But just ask them just for speed, just to turn your key, your phone into a key. Although having said that, you can actually do that in the app pretty easily. You can do it yourself.
Harold, they just do it without even asking.
Well, they'll just do it anyway. So
And then they say to you, do you have any questions? If you say no, they say, well, why are you still sitting here for?
Yeah.
So
yeah, fuck off.
they don't. They pretty much default on giving you nothing unless you ask a question.
And one other thing, Gabriel, is you should walk around the car just slowly and have a look at the car, look at the rims, make sure there's no scratches, there's no dents on it. Just have a quick look around and make sure you're satisfied. You've got a bit of time afterwards, but if you can spot something in the car yard in front of them, you can point that out very quickly, and you can take a photo, of course. But yeah, definitely do that. Walk around the car, have a good look, and enjoy the moment.
Yeah,
pretty
all
much
right.
it,
Thank
know?
you.
and if you got any questions, just give me a buzz. I've got the number in chat, if you can see that there.
all right,
Just
I'll
give me
save
a
it.
buzz if you've got anything that's, any pressing question or whatever. Or just come back next week and ask us anything you want. But one thing is, we could go through a whole lot of stuff with you right now, and we could just bombard you with all this information, which will become very meaningless because it's just too overwhelming. You just start getting used to your car. You just drive it normally. You don't worry about autopilot. You don't worry about all that sort of stuff. It just becomes too confusing if we just keep bombarding you. But yeah, just feel free to say, hey, awesome, I've got my car and I can go now. That's it. And they'll be happy to see the back of you because they're busy.
Hey, Gabrielle, have you
Sorted?
read about? Sorry, have you read about the single reversing light?
Single reversing light. No, I have not.
Yeah, there's only
That
one.
one will get you.
Yeah,
The one on the right side's always broken. They never fit the globe. It's always broken.
Gabrielle, I'll give you one bit of advice. Don't ring up the dealership and ask them any questions because you're just wasting your time. You're better off coming back here on Wednesday night and asking the question here. You don't feel like a dickhead when you ring up the dealership and ask them a question. They kind of laugh at you in the background.
So what did you ask, Jared? What was it that you asked?
I asked them, why does my reverse light doesn't work? And they said they laughed at me and kind of said, you're number 4 for the day. So, just don't do it. Just don't.
It's only got one.
Don't ask them for anything. That's bottom line.
There's only one reverse light. There's only one.
Correct. There's only one side. A reverse light comes up on one side. Looks like there's 2. Looks like there's 2. Could be 2, but there's only one.
The other one's a fog light.
Fog light. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It's one. The other one's the red one. That comes up as a fog light, and the other one's the white reverse light. But it looks like
the same for Volkswagens as well.
Yeah.
Speaking about
have you organised your insurance, or what have you done with that?
Yes, I have done with the RAC because I saw that Tesla has insurance, but it apparently doesn't work in Australia, just in the US.
Do you mind telling us what you paid for your? We're running a bit of a long-term survey here with.
Yeah,
RAC.
sure. 1,200 something, and increased the value to 100,000.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty standard. That value. That's
about
that's pretty average. It's good.
Yeah.
Cool. Mark,
So,
you go on, Gabriel.
Actually, that's pretty good because Gabriel's got a performance that he said he's insured it for 100 grand. So that's pretty good for a performance.
Yeah, I did the same, but it was a little bit cheaper.
All right.
I think I'm a little bit older than Gabrielle though. So.
Yeah.
Dog years. Only in dog years.
And thank God they don't know how I'm going to be driving, so otherwise it would be like 5,000.
Oh yes. What color are you getting, Gabriel?
White.
White.
Beautiful.
Poverty white. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Have you got white interior or black interior?
A white interior too.
Beautiful. Oh, white on white.
We got the white on white. It looks sensational.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got a photo. It looks absolutely amazing at night, the white seats. You guys talk among yourselves, so I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, well, actually, Mark, you've got your hand up.
That's actually asked me a question.
Still about the headlights, I have a question. So I have read that the high beam lights, it's automatic. You can choose to put automatic, but my understanding is, all right, it's gonna lower it if a car is coming, if the Tesla itself can see a light there. But I think this time that my car would be noticing that another light's coming, it will be long enough to blind the car coming, right? Or how does that work?
It actually doesn't work very well.
No, I turn it off. So what you do is in the menu. So you press the car icon on the lower right hand side.
Yeah, how to do it? I saw
okay.
it.
So
I just want to understand.
Yep. So you press the little car icon. Yep. You press the car icon on the lower right hand side. You go and then tap on lights, and then you've got headlights. Leave that on automatic. That's your low beam. But then you've also got auto high beam. So this setting here, which is at the moment turned off. So leave that off, which means that your high beam will be manual. So in other words, when you put high beam on, it will come on. If you have automatic high beams, you still have to turn high beam on, but the car will override it if you're in a built-up area and there are cars coming the other way. So what can happen is, if you have auto high beam on and you turn the high beam on and it sees like a cat's eye, like those, road markers on the side, it might think, or a street sign, it might think it's a car coming the other way, and it won't put the high beam on until it thinks that's gone away. Or there could be a truck, which, the cabin is a lot higher than the headlights, and it won't turn off until you've already dazzled the truck driver and stuff. And to be honest, I don't think any of us have thought that the automatic high beam has worked very well. So we generally just turn it off.
But the automatic windscreen wipers work quite well, actually. They're not too bad. So
The automatic sky beam, is that on all models or just on performance?
All models.
All models. Right.
What was the question? Sorry.
Is it on all models? That's because I'm only on a standard range. I'm bottom of the range, not top of the range. So I wondered if that was only a top of the range feature, the auto high beam.
No.
No, it's on. We've got it on,
It's on all of them.
The range and the performance.
Yeah. In fact, this car here, this is a standard range basic car. It was a loan car. Yeah. So it's got auto high beam. Oh, something that, Gabriel, you want to turn on
I
is...
I prefer bottom of the range, not basic. Basic sounds really cheap.
True. So
the poor man's trim.
Exactly.
Pete, that is hurtful.
That's what we bought.
So
it's a poor man's Tesla.
So what you should
do, performance as well.
That's exactly right. So what you should put on, Gabriel, is put on headlights after exit. So that's just useful because when you park the car, it just leaves the headlights on if it's nighttime for about a minute or two, so you can sort of see where you're going or whatever. So that's a good one to have on. Leave your dome lights on auto. That just means when you close the door after a little while, it'll turn the lights off, the interior lights. Leave your headlights on automatic, definitely. Steering wheel lights, adjust the scroll wheels. That's just a matter of personal preference. Couple of settings that are useful. I did see a lady that had her car. Make sure that your display mode is in auto, so that what this does is in the daytime, your screen will look like this. It's like a grey background or quite bright. But at night time, it'll be like in Google dark mode. It'll go black with white writing, and it'll be dim or dimmer. So make sure that's on auto. I did see someone's car where it was set permanently to day, and at night time, that's just shocking.
Too bright,
Set the brightness to auto, so that when it gets darker, the whole screen will go, it'll match the ambient light. By the way, the screen clean mode, if you've got when you have fingerprints on your screen, you press this button and it'll turn the whole screen black, and you can basically then get a microfiber cloth and clean the screen. And then what you do is there's a button that says press and hold to get out of screen clean mode, and it'll count down for 3 seconds and then go back to normal. But before you do that, you can clean your whole screen. You can have, the cool thing is you've got multilingual support. So if you want to practice a bit of French or German or whatever, you can have all of these menus in a different language. And there's quite a few. There's about a dozen languages you can choose from. The same as the voice.
One's really good. The Russian.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can even pick Windings as well if you want. If you can speak Windings fluent.
And one really important thing, Gabriel, make sure you turn off ABC when you're driving the performance, because it can actually affect you, make you go to sleep when you're driving. Just turn that off straight away.
Exactement. Mais français, moi, j'aime pas le français. C'est très difficile.
So moving right along, you've got all these other settings, but that's just your personal preference, whether you want a 24-hour clock or whether you want to show temperature. Well, we're all in a normal country with Celsius, and you can use PSI or bar for tire pressure. Oh, now if autopilot, because you do have autopilot, what you do need to do is turn it. This probably won't be turned on. So turn on auto steer.
Yeah,
And now you
I
won't.
did that when I went for the test drive. Before I go to
Yes.
test drive, I went there and activate everything.
Yes, so you won't be able to do navigate on autopilot yet, unless you buy full self-driving. So that won't work. And the same as traffic light stop control. I'm not sure about the green traffic light chime.
It's only full self-driving.
It might only be full self-driving.
This car, this one that you hired, was it? This car?
No, it was a loan car.
Oh, so it wasn't a hire car; it was a loaner.
No, it was a loan car from Tesla. I think
I'm surprised they had full self-driving installed on it.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. This car only had 190 kilometers on the odometer. So it was almost brand new. I didn't actually, it wasn't my loan car, it was Jason Stanley's loan car.
Pete,
But
what
I
did
just
it have on yours? Pete, when you bought yours?
It had 111k. Sorry, it had 11 kilometers.
11 kilometers, that's about right.
11k.
That's obviously just getting it on the ship and off the ship.
Yeah, and a few burnouts around the car park.
Yeah, just a few, yeah.
Here's, if you wanted to, I found those white seats just quickly. What am I doing? Can you see that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Where's that?
Look at that.
Oh, that's my sister-in-law. Hang on.
So who's Hilux in the background there, Pete? Locking you in.
I didn't even notice. I think it was just the neighbour. But yeah, check it out. Actually, I've got a better photo than that. 1 second. This is not very good, is it?
No, it's not very good TV, I'm sorry.
Fucking bit.
How's that?
That's pretty,
Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
Looks really good when you turn the dome lights on at night.
Yep.
Just make sure you
White
pack
on
wet
white.
wipes. Wet wipes, isn't it?
Yeah,
Or you can use Windex.
I always liked the car to be tinted, mainly here because the sun is quite strong. But I will live without a little bit to see if I can keep up with that, because that looks beautiful.
Yeah.
That's right. You don't want dark tint because you want everyone to see you in your awesome car.
Yeah, at
you
least
save
I
that
managed
money.
to get a wife.
You save that money, Gabriel.
So Gabriel, did you say you need to get a wife?
At least until I managed to get my wife, because I'm pretty sure in 2022 I get one up.
I'll tell you, I wish when I was your age, I had a Tesla, because I would have had many wives with the Tesla in my day. But no, you've got an awesome choice.
But Gabriel, I was 100% that I was going to tin the windows, because I thought they look, the white looks good when, the whole upper half is all black. And I was about to book it in, and I thought I'll go and have a look. And because on my other one, on the black one, I've tinted the windows there and the top and everything. But yeah, on the white one, I just thought, no, I'm not going to do it because, just with the white seats, I think it looks great. Yeah.
So you said you have two Tesla. Just to clarify here, everyone that has Tesla is like bicycle. We have like 3 or 4. Everyone.
I've actually got 4 EVs as of this week.
Oh shit!
I'll show you the photo of all 4 if I can find it.
I've got 3 batteries and a performance.
Why would you have 4 of them, not just one blade?
One for each day.
Yeah, it's
he's got 3 to go to get the 7. Yeah,
he's only on a 4-day week, so only one for each day.
No, ideally I'd have 8 of them. Sexy cars. There's 8 models, so.
Gabriel, one thing that pretty much, I don't know what the exact statistic is, but Pete could probably tell me, is there's a very
91%.
What?
What? 91%.
was talking about how many girls that turned you down in your childhood, but
that was 191%.
It was going to be the percentage of people who own a Tesla and also own Tesla shares.
Okay. I was told you were asking if you bought a Tesla, what's the percentage of people that buy a Tesla as their second car? And that's 91%.
Wow.
Incredible. Yeah. But yeah, that would be interesting to know. Yeah, what
I thought I read an article saying it was over 40%.
Really? Wow.
Gabriel, when do you get your car? Tomorrow?
Sorry, but
Friday morning.
Friday morning. Oh, cool.
But Russell, was that 40% of shareholders that have Tesla cars, or was it 40% of Tesla owners that have shares?
Yeah, 40% of Tesla owners who have shares.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah, that's interesting.
Russell, that photo that you submitted last week of you at that event, does that prop actually fit in the boot that you're carrying around, or do you have to tow a trailer for that prop?
I'm going to put the back seats down.
Oh, you put the back seats down, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Pete, can you just bring up that image again?
Yeah, 1 second.
Of the four cars?
Just give me 1 second, because I'm not very good at this, as you can probably gather. But
yeah, no, that's cool. You're working on an iPad, so that's making it harder.
Yeah, I'm not making it easy for myself, but here we go. Here it comes. There she goes.
So we got the Volt. We've got. Oh, that's the higher. That's the higher thing from. That's the one that's been
Elton.
danged. The rental. We got your car, and then we've got Karen's car. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's the plate going to be called, Pete?
What's that?
What's the plate going to be called?
The plate.
Karen's car.
Number plate.
You get number plate?
Tesla.
Tesla. Really?
Tesla. No.
Tesla.
No. Model 3. I've got the number plate model.
Yeah.
With 3 L's.
3 L's. Okay.
So
What models are these? The standard range.
So
you have one to rent.
Yes, the rental is a standard range plus. The black one is a it's a stealth performance, and the white one's a unicorn standard range plus.
Gabriel, the black one's known as the Screamer, and Harold will show you that in a minute. It's known as the Screamer. So,
hey, Pete, with that, with the first car, my understanding was that the advice from the manufacturer was you couldn't park it within 200 meters of any.
That's the Bolt. That's the Bolt. That's the Pure EV. That's the next model up.
Oh, that's the hybrid. Is that one?
No, the Bolt's the Pure EV. So I've got a hybrid Bolt.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Volts are the batteries are pretty good in that one. So they're LGs as well, I think, but LG Chems. But yeah, they only let you use 60% of the battery, so you can't go below 20% or above 80%. So yeah, that battery should last for yonks.
At least 3 weeks, I suppose, shouldn't it?
Probably a month.
at least a month longer than the Leaf.
Hey guys, can I just ask one quick question, because I've got to go to bed.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, Mark, you don't have to ask. Just say it. Sorry. Apologies.
So just two very, very quick ones. One is, I'm getting the car tomorrow, but just a quick question. What happens when you go on holiday for like 2 months or something like that? How should you leave your car if you're going on holiday for 2 months? Do you leave it plugged in or not plugged in or turned off or?
No, easy peasy. So you got an SR Plus or a long range?
Yes, SR. It's
okay.
SR Plus lithium ion.
Okay, so you could leave it at 100% and just leave it plugged in. I mean, maybe if it's so long, you could just set it to 90%. So let's just say set it to 90%.
Yeah.
Plug your UMC or your charger, whatever you've got at home, plug it in, and then go on holidays and forget about it. End of story.
And maybe turn Sentry mode off.
Well, depending on your situation. So if you're in a garage,
Yeah, be in a garage.
and it's secure, turn sentry mode off. Or actually, as a matter of fact, obviously you can just tell it to exclude home. So,
oh yeah, I've heard
And
about
you
that
get
one.
yourself
Where
a
you can-
hard drive, Mark. Get yourself a solid state hard drive and stick that in the glove box.
Oh, you mean like a Samsung T5 or something like that?
Yeah, correct. T5, T7, one of those. Stick that in there. I've got a T7 in there, and it basically just you don't have to worry about the bat.
I've got a spare one of them lying around actually.
So-
So it's like
so
a
Mark-
500 gig or something.
So on sentry mode, you obviously turn it on, but you can just exclude home.
Ah,
So if
right.
you check that and you've set home, and the way you set home is you just go navigate. Oh, this will eventually work. Come on. Sorry, it's got stage fright.
It's right.
But
it's
but
a
basically you
while
can
off
set.
before I do it, but I just want to ask the question, so I've got it in my head the sort of thing I should do.
Yeah. So as long as you exclude home, presuming that you're in a garage.
What was the disadvantage of leaving it switched on while you're on holiday
Oh.
if it's plugged into the power anyway?
Yeah. Okay. It'll consume about 6 kilowatt hours per day.
6
per 24 hour
a day.
Yes, because
heck.
yes, because the computer consumes about 250 watts. So if you just get 250 times 24, that's 6 kilowatt hours. So 6 units. It'll cost you.
I was thinking about 600 watts, not 6 kilowatts.
Yeah.
No. So 6 kilowatt hours will cost you approximately $1.74 per day in sentry mode if it's on 24
not
hours.
The money, it's just the amount of power.
No, that's only
Yes.
if you've got sentry mode turned on, Mark. If you turn sentry mode off, it won't use any.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
You'll just stick Apple M1 chips in there. They won't use anywhere near that much power. That bloody
No,
the
yeah.
atom bloody obviously eating power.
They're big chips, trust me. They do a lot of work. So when you're going on holidays, your sentry mode will be off anyway because you've excluded home. Just plug it in. Like I said, in my opinion, it's probably on the safe side. Just set it to 90% charging.
Yeah.
Plug your charger in, forget it, and that's it. Job done.
Yeah, great stuff. Excellent.
And then when you get back
last
home,
question-
go on.
Sorry, back on. And the last question was just a very quick one. From a couple of weeks ago, I spoke to Pete. He got a drone picture of the Fremantle. All the cars all lined up. I wanted to get a copy of that if I could.
Oh,
somehow
yes.
from Pete.
Okay.
And I
That
didn't
wasn't
find out how
Pete.
to get hold of it.
No, that wasn't
it Pete. That was you, was it?
That was me. So give me an email at secretary at tokwa.org.au.
Yeah.
Or just give me a call on my number, which is in chat. If you've got that, can you see that on chat?
I can't see it now. No, I haven't got chat up. Can you just stick it on the screen like you did before?
Everyone's got Harold's number.
While you're at it, Harold.
You should just put it at the bottom,
Your
Harold.
date of birth.
Hang on a
That
sec.
number's
Just
on every toilet wall in Perth. And the
great
CVC number.
okay. So Mark, now you've got my credit card number. It's all good to go. Just make sure you get the expiry date right. And I don't mind if you spend $1 million because imagine how many friggin' flyer points I'll get. Awesome.
No.
But yeah, just give me a buzz, Mark.
Shot. It was just a nice one to keep of all the actual cars in the dock there.
Yes. Yeah. No worries. I'll do that for you.
Great work,
no
guys.
problems.
I love coming into this, but you go on a lot longer than I can stop awake for.
No, that's
Not
cool.
because you're putting me to sleep. It's just I'm going to go to bed because I get up at 4:30. So.
Yeah,
We're
I get
still-
up at 4:32, Mark.
I don't believe you.
Mentally, I get up at 4:30 and I go for a 5K run, and then of course.
And then you wake up and it was just a dream, or was it a nightmare?
It's always a dream. It's always a dream.
Speaking of 4:30, I do wake up 4:20 to go for 60 kilometers ride. So I might go to bed as well. I see you guys next Wednesday.
That's because Gabriel, you've got the body of Jared. Like your body's a temple, just like Jared's.
Very similar temple, but more of a. It's probably the same size. Your SM size.
Extra small.
You're small marquee like me, yeah.
Small marquee, yeah.
No,
I
you
dream of
both,
being
you
a
both
snowball
have
king.
the bodies of a god, but
God.
Jared's got the body of Buddha.
Buddha, that's it.
Good like me.
All right. See
Cool.
you guys. Thank you. Good night.
All right, Gabrielle, take care, mate. Cheers.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
Cheers,
See you next
Gabrielle.
week. Tell
All
us
the best
about
to
your
you,
car,
Carl, on
Gabrielle.
Friday.
And good night, Mark. It's your bedtime. Make sure you got a nice
Yes,
blankie so you're nice and warm.
Have
All
a
right.
great day and
Take
have a
care.
great night. What's left of it?
We'll see you
Thank
next
you very
week,
much.
Mark.
Have
We'll
fun
catch
when
you
you
next
get your
week.
cars, guys.
When I've actually joined you with a real Tesla rather than just dreaming of one.
You'll be fine.
Yes, well, we'll have a casual meetup on the 5th of January at
Russell's house, I believe it is.
no,
We
it's
cancelled Russell's house.
yeah, well, no, that's a private function.
Okay, that's a.
I'm not invited to that. I'm not one of the boys yet. Sorry.
No.
Is that
will
bring your own pole or is it provided?
Let's bring your own G-string, mate. Get it right.
we'll be having our casual meetup on the 5th of January at the Kalamunda Tap House.
Oh, Kalamunda. It's a nice drive there. Great.
Yep. But we may also have a.
Century mode's on. That's for sure up there.
Oh yeah, there's actually a car park right. You can see your car from where it is. It's a multi-story car park.
So you can see the hoons taking it away.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, if there's lots of Teslas there, it's like schooling fish. What's the chances that your car's going to get done? You know, there'll always be one next to yours that'll get done.
And they're bound to go for the
and I'm only in the standard range. It's P2's really got to look out.
Exactly. And we may have fireworks at Shelley or opposite Shelley on the 1st of January as well, just as an FYI.
No, unfortunately, I'm going to be down past there on that night, unfortunately.
Yeah, cool. No worries.
I'm down at Ravenswood. Ravenswood. Yeah, down past Mandra there. Mandra
yes.
to the left.
Yes, that's where the drags used to be. Cool. All right, Mark.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful evening, and we'll box on.
Guys.
Thinking of you, we'll miss you already, and you can always catch up on the YouTube channel, and as we start making jokes about you and stuff later on that you won't know about.
I'm sure you will.
No, we're all very well behaved here. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and obviously come back next week and tell us how it all went.
No problem at all. Have a lovely one.
You
Much
too.
love. Cheers.
All right. Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
All right. So
2 questions. If you have anything to go on with Harold.
Go, Russell.
Okay. First one was last week we spoke about the EV highway, and it was mentioned that it's gone out for tender. And
yes,
I know you do have the non-disclosure thing happening.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
You don't need to answer any of the questions if you can't. But I was wondering whether you were aware if the tender portal will be open to see who's actually invited to tender, or if it's open tender, or what the situation is in regards to like the consortia that.
I'd like to answer that. I'd like to answer that question for you, please, Harold. Harold's had 4 coronas. He's really not in the right state to be answering that question, as my client should really not comment right now. He's on his 5th corona.
They're actually Corona Ligeras, so they're mid-strength.
Mid-strength. Oh, he's okay then. He can speak. Go for it.
So I practice responsible service of alcohol. No, it's Russell. It's a completely open tender. So if you go to the WA Tenders website and if you look at all the tenders, you have to just dig through.
I could find it. So it's on there, and then you can see who's downloaded them, right? If they choose not to be anonymous.
No, I don't think you can. I don't think
you
can see any of that.
Yeah, you can. So, on Tenders WA you can, if that's what it's on. That's something that we do all the time at work to see who the competitors are. So if it's not Tenders WA, then maybe not. But if it's Tenders WA, then it would be.
Wow,
that's interesting because I actually downloaded it just out of curiosity so I could see it. Sorry.
Did you have to log in?
I logged in and downloaded it so that I would get notifications if it changed. Because if you get any updates on the tender.
Yep, I'll find who's on there now for you if you want. I'll do it if you like.
All right, what's your next question, Russell?
Second question was Did
you make
want
your
to-
fur boots out of seal pup? Is that what you're going to
This was a question directly for you, Jared, actually.
say? For me, my own question.
Don't choke, Jared. I almost saw you.
Gotta get ready.
It's not that good. I wouldn't worry about too much. It was a follow-up from last week. I managed to clear a bit of mess out the front of the battery. Do you want me to go out and show you, or not interested anymore?
Oh no, I'm definitely always interested.
All right.
What did you
Let
do?
me, I'll get my mobile going and I'll
Yeah,
I'll
definitely
take you
show
on.
us. I'm always interested.
All right, give us a few minutes, and you guys. I'll look at that.
I get worried when you're not on, Russell. It's that 1 week that you're away. It was very quiet. When you
Oh,
went
was
to
it?
Brisbane, yeah, it was very quiet, wasn't it, Harold? We had no one asking questions, and
Unlucky.
it's not the same when you're not there, Russell. You know, especially those photos. I've got something to say as well. I'd like to thank the president of Tokwa for chewing up all the bloody Matchbox cars. The only electric car I could get is this. That's the only electric car I can get, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's Tesla's actually new model that they're about to release, and that's it there. That little baby, little electric. It's the electric sports. Yeah, it's the.
Hang on, I'm just going to spotlight you so we can see this a little bit better.
That's the only
There we
electric
go.
car I could get.
Ah.
Hey, how good's that? Because thanks to the president of the club, who went and got every roadster available in Coles around Australia, or around WA anyway.
The chairman.
That's the chairman. That's the only electric car I could get, which is Tesla's new mobile coming out soon. It's the sports model thing that's coming out. That's it. So,
all right, there you go.
I just share my
Nice.
3 minutes. That's all.
Oh, we got two Russells.
Oh,
We're rustling.
Are we going to see some props, Russell?
I hope not, because I didn't cut out the last one. Oh, there's a battery.
Oh, look at that. That's a double stack. Yes.
So there's the battery there.
That's
It sort of
good.
comes up to about my shoulder. Don't know if you can sort of see that.
Yes.
Sort of height wise. Yeah.
So what do you got there? 15 kilowatts now, Russell. Is that right?
Yeah. So each one of these panels here are all like 5 kilowatts each.
Yep.
This is the head unit.
Right.
But it would come with any of them, like it sort of slots down.
Yeah.
And then the front panel just
What
like
system's that, Russell?
at the point in time. But you can also see it all through the app as well. So it's different to the Tesla one because it's straight DC. So the Tesla Powerwalls use AC conversion, where this one
That's
goes.
right. Yeah.
I can do DC from the panels and then also consume
Yeah.
5.5 kilowatt through my house, so I can actually consume more than the capacity you can do on an AC.
So you got a total of 51. Sorry, you got 15 kilowatt total. Is that right, Russell?
Yeah, 15 in the battery here. Yeah.
That's right.
But in terms of charging it, I can charge at 5.5 and also use 5.5 from the panels because I've got like 10 on the roof.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. 10 panels on the roof?
No,
10 kilowatts.
10 kilowatts on the roof. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
So
Nice.
your inverter's a 10 kilowatt inverter then?
No, it only needs to be 5.
Oh, it needs to be 5. Oh, because it's running DC straight to the...
Yeah,
right,
straight
okay.
from the panels to the battery.
Yeah,
So
right.
your inverter only has to be 5.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
How many strings are you running there? Get one, two.
Two strings.
2 strings. Okay. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, sweet. It's good. And you're going to put on more batteries?
I mean, I've set it up so I can wrap them around the corner, so I can go along there and then along the wall.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's financially needed right now because at the moment I'm already. It still manages to be fine for the all night.
Are you doing just a small system, like a split system?
Oh no, we've got a three-phase thing. We're running on low. When we wake up in the morning with the air conditioner running, with cooling, it's fine. But when we run heating, it's too much for it. It doesn't last the whole night.
Yeah. So you've signed up to the tariff that you've got a battery and you're paying 15 cents between 9 and 7 a.m.?
Yeah, but I'm thinking of changing it to the smart home because I can actually get cheaper power. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he. I think that's what he
I'm not using
meant.
any power, so it's sort of irrelevant.
Russell.
That's
more about the. I can
that's
actually
what I'm
force
on
this
now.
battery to sell back power between 3 o'clock and 7
Oh,
o'clock to get 10
see,
cents.
I can't sell anything back. I've got a 15 kilowatt system, 15 kilowatt inverter on the wall, and
Yeah.
anything over 5 kilowatts, there's no feeding tariff come back to your house. So if whatever I give away, which is at the moment nothing, I do anything to not give it away. But my 3 batteries are always full by sort of 12 o'clock at the moment.
Yeah.
And that gives me 40.5 kilowatts from 6 o'clock until 6 o'clock the next morning, pretty much, which is more than enough for us. But if we leave the big air conditioner on, it does suck it pretty out. So it draws about 8 kilowatts to run the big aircon.
So Russell, you were saying you're contemplating going onto the smart power tariff, whereby from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. it's 50 cents a kilowatt hour, but from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. or so it's 15 cents.
Yeah. So but it's almost irrelevant because I'm not using any power anyway. So it's like
true.
Yeah, but that for me would be better. In the case I would use power, that's when I'd be using it when it's
in
cheap
winter.
anyway.
In winter, Russell, what I do is I buy the power after anytime after 9 o'clock. I'll buy the power and fill the batteries up, so the batteries are full.
That's the thing, because you can change. The battery itself has different modes. You can change it between like self-sufficient or charge from AC or cell back or whatever.
That's on the Tesla app. The same thing on your phone. I can just do it on the phone.
Yeah, and it just will suck power from the grid and charge it if it hasn't got enough charge from the day at a cheap rate.
It's really smart. It really reads the algorithms of what your usage are and really just takes over.
Yeah,
pretty amazing.
So what product's that, Russell?
That's a Huawei.
Oh, Huawei. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
A Luna 2000, I think it is. It's on there.
That's good.
Work.
Hang on. Do that again. Sorry, just
there it is. Yeah, hang on, there it is.
Russell, who installed it?
Yeah, nice.
Would have been solid.
It's all. Oh, you want the subcontractor or the company I bought it from?
The company.
Oh yeah, it's all Solar Gain.
Solar Gain. Oh, there you go.
Pete's favourite, I think, from memory.
Pete loves Solar Gain.
Yeah, it's because of the frequent flyer points mainly.
Yeah.
So I think each battery was like $3,500 each 5.
That's good. That's cheaper than Tesla.
So sorry, say that again. 3.5.
Each 5 kilowatt hour battery worked out to about $3,500.
Fuck. Well, each battery with Tesla at the moment is about $14,000.
Oh yeah, but that's not. I mean, Tesla Powerwall is 12 kilowatts, isn't it?
13.5.
Sorry.
13.5.
13.5. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a little bit more, but
40.5.
I think you can get a Powerwall for like 10, can't you?
I think it's more.
The cheapest I got was 11.5.
No, they've gone up a bit.
They've gone up since then. Yeah.
I was doing some not even just over a year ago at just over 12 grand, and now they're closer to 14.
Oh yeah, for those who haven't known plate, there you go. Wife, because she loves cats.
Perf 3CT. What's a 3CT?
It's one of the props.
By the way, for those in YouTube land, some of Russell's that was good. Some of Russell's footage froze because we had like a little outage for a few seconds. So yeah, that was about 6 seconds that we lost of.
How come we got stereo rump? Oh, there you go.
Because two Russells are barely enough.
Like a pair of
Speaking of number plates, this is going back maybe I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10 episodes ago. And I was talking about my theory how the $25,000 Tesla is going to be a Model A. Is going to be called the Model A. And I looked at the custom plates site, and Model A was still available. And then I looked at it like a day later or 2 days later, and it was taken up. So someone, and I thought, oh, it must have been someone that was on bloody Ask Us Anything, or but then I thought, okay, well, I'll look at some other, variations. So I looked at M0DELA and, and that was still available. And then 2 days later, even that was gone, and every variation of Model A is gone in WA now.
Is 2 weeks still available? Is that still
Remember?
going? I wonder if that's fine, because that's been publicised to the hell. Hey, Joe, what's going on? Joe, you there? Come in, Joe. Come on. You little mysterious person. Here she comes. Joe, what's going on? We're doing sandwiches or what?
I'm working now.
Oh, what happened to sandwiches?
No, school finished last week.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Don't have
Go
to
with
sandwiches
the
anymore.
Hey? Yeah, school's finished. That's right. No sandwiches.
Well, yeah, not all schools are finished, but ours did. We finished last Tuesday. So, yeah, no sandwiches for a week now.
We missed you last week. Where were you, Joe?
We were camping.
Oh, did you?
We were camping with our car with 4 bikes, a huge 10-person tent, and everything else that goes with camping, and 2 kids in booster seats. So yeah, we squeeze it all into the car.
Jeez, that's great.
Somehow it's pretty good.
Where'd you go camping? Somewhere good?
Bustleton.
Oh, Bustleton. Nice.
Yeah, so I thought it's a bit quiet on the campsite this time of night, so I thought I couldn't really, dial into the call and speak, because if I speak, the whole campsite would hear me. So, and I knew at some point you'd call me and say, "What are you doing with sandwiches?" But no, I've actually, it's just still the same though. I've washed the car this evening because it was filthy from being camping. So I've been listening to the call whilst washing the car, and that's done now. So now I'm back to work.
There you go.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, the answer to 2 weeks is it's available.
It's available still. Wow, there you go.
It's still available. And you could probably get it. You could probably get it.
But only if you type up 2 weeks with a number, that's already gone.
Is it?
2 weeks with a number.
Yeah.
Oh, so you got to be TWA.
Not available for 2 weeks.
Ah.
You could have.
You still get the 2. Yeah,
That's available.
Yeah, there you go.
How long do you think all that'll take?
2 weeks.
Really? That's all.
Any idea when you're going to be finished here?
2 weeks.
How long will it take to put this place together?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Classic.
So there you go. So Model A is just not available, Pete. It's gone.
Model A.
Yeah, I reckon it was either someone that was on our Ask Us Anything or someone that watched it on YouTube.
It was probably
went out.
Those 3 subscribers. Those 3 subscribers. They're a bugger because one of those 3 are going to just do everything that we say.
It was definitely Russell. You can tell he's hiding behind the pussy now. That's him. That's it. Trying to play coy.
Hey, Pete, did you lose continuity then? Because we lost you. You froze. Could you hear us? Are you on Starlink?
Yeah. I'm not sure, actually. Good question. Let me check. No, I'm not.
Because I had a little outage just there. You can see for a few seconds when Russell was doing his video, the dish got a bit excited and it sort of went off signal for 6 seconds at 10:50.
Wasn't a plane going over, was it, Harold?
Sorry, say again.
Wasn't a plane going over?
No, it just has a little conniption every now and then. Which, I mean, the thing is, if you're streaming like Netflix or whatever, you can't tell because there's a buffer. It's only if it's literally live. So what I could see is myself. You got, there's 9 of us, or there's nine segments in this Zoom session. I could see myself moving, and everyone else was frozen.
Yeah,
so that's all that happens. So it's not perfect, but it's still not bad for something that's 500 k's up in the air, flying around at 25,000 kilometers an hour.
Richard Chapman's just lucky because his is still new, so he will get the top speeds. And
well,
so
it's
next
actually
week he'll get slow. Richard, you can hear us? There he is. Here he comes.
Still
He's
just
still,
about
I've got 400 up, 400 down.
Yeah, Richard's been watching Wentworth or something on Netflix, so he's just been a bit distracted.
inside of my eyelids.
So just to get back to that tenders thing, I found it. Funnily enough, when I was looking for it, this is quite funny, but I found one that there's a tender out for the provisions of servicing of electric vehicles, which is I found quite comedic, because that's probably going to.
What does that mean? Boom, boom.
Yeah, pretty low tender value for that one. Maybe they want the tires changed or something. Who knows? Yeah. So it said that there was a briefing session held 2 days ago.
Yeah, I did hear about that. I didn't attend it. I didn't actually know because apparently that was actually written in the tender document, which I didn't read thoroughly enough to notice it. It was a Teams
on the website too. It's quite large. Yeah. But anyways, so that's there. Funnily enough, they turn off the functionality to see who's actually downloaded documents. Majority of the documents you can actually see who's downloaded them, but this one has been removed.
Right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Cool. I mean, like I said, because I've done a bit of consulting and stuff, I can't say anything about it. So a big shout out to you, Damon. We hope you're not in Adelaide still, and if you are, we hope you're having a good time. There's the Barossa Valley is great. I do recommend you go to the Cube. If you just Google the Cube McLaren Vale, I think it was, according to Carmen, and I visited as well. It's an awesome site. And yes, your car still is as burnt as the orange behind Russell's head. It looks just like that. But thanks for watching, Damon, in half-hour slots, because you're too slack to do the whole lot in 4 hours and 40 minutes. I can't even work out how many half-hour slots that is, but it's a lot.
It's 9 and a bit.
9 and a bit. Wow. That's a lot of slots. And a shout out to you, Ashley. Thinking of you, and hope we're keeping you entertained at least. And to everyone else, Hosni Mubarak, Chris. I think there's a Tom. There's definitely a Dick. There's probably a Harry there too that's watching. Shout out to all of you, Joseph.
Harry's changed his name to Lloyd. Remember?
Harry, yes, that's the other Harry. Yes, that's right. Yep. I think Harry's probably on meth or something because he's got to have something to keep himself awake to do all those deliveries.
Oh.
But it's all good.
He's doing well.
They won't be delivering cars forever this month, or just until 31st of December.
They'll have Christmas Day off, won't they?
Oh yeah, well they probably.
No, I think their last delivery is on the 22nd or something. I heard.
Oh right, cool.
And not going to the last minute like usually. Yeah. Last year they were still delivering cars on the 31st. Harold, remember?
Yeah. Yep.
Really?
Quarterly numbers that they're not worrying about anymore, I guess.
That's shit.
Well, they'll worry about the numbers that are here, because that is literally a missed opportunity. But Elon Musk has said that they're going to stop doing this expediting of logistics and all that sort of stuff, because it's just crazy. It's just this stupid American quarterly results worshipping that is meaningless to a financial year result. And as Elon Musk has rightly implied, it's costing a lot of money, and it just doesn't make sense. Particularly since Tesla has, I think their days of inventory is something like they've got 6 or 7 days of inventory, whereas most car manufacturers have something like, it's more than 90, isn't it, Pete? Or is it 120 days of inventory? It's like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah,
And
2 or 3 months.
Yeah, and Tesla has barely a week. So it's just a ridiculous thing to have to keep flogging your employees, and also, in some cases, giving your owners or customers a suboptimal delivery experience.
Absolutely.
It's
So I've got 2 more questions. Sorry.
Yes.
Come up with these. First one is back to the briefing thing. My understanding is that any of these briefings, there should be minutes taken, and that will be published on the tender site anyway. So any correspondence that happened at that meeting 2 days ago should be public knowledge as well. So we should be able to catch up on that if anything's asked. So
yeah, cool. Yeah, like I said, I didn't even know it was on, so I didn't see it.
Yeah,
so
irrespective of that, because it's a public tender, anything that happens is public as well.
Yep, cool.
Any questions anyone asks is also added in there as an addenda or a information to everybody.
Yep.
So it might not have even happened. There's some of these that they have a meeting but no one shows up, so just don't have it. So
yeah. No, this one definitely. There were. I heard that there were quite a few people that showed up. So
okay.
And
so maybe next couple of days we might get a minutes from that meeting that we can review.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and I'll be happy to do that. Absolutely, because like I said, that although there's stuff that I'm aware of, I don't need to discuss any of that, because we can just discuss what's in the public sphere, and that's perfectly cool. Just as I did last week, everything that I surmised about, well, I had no interaction with Horizon Power whatsoever, so that was easy. And the Synergy stuff was easy too, because, like I said, from memory, I think they were ordering 24 150 kilowatt fast DC chargers and a whole 3 75 kilowatt fast DC chargers. And when we looked at the map, there were less pins than 24. So if you just made the broad assumption that basically every place had a 150 kilowatt charger, it's an awesome system. So
there is an addenda in there actually from today that I just noticed it issued today, so I can download it now if you like and have a look at it.
Interesting. Actually,
hey Russell, can you check the link into chat?
Yeah.
Geez, that's going to look much here, aren't we? Okay, now. All right, hang on.
The addenda will be very interesting.
Well, it's not addenda. Is it addenda? Yeah, that's what's called. Hang on. Oh, sorry, I'm the wrong one. I was looking at my Teams. Hang on. All right, there we go. Right, so I've got the. Let me share my screen, and I'll bring it up.
Got the addenda. So here we go. Addenda.
This one.
RFQ.
Oh. There we go. That's the. I'll get rid of that.
That's the briefing presentation.
Oh, that was a waste of time.
Yeah, no, that's just a.
Stop sharing. Let's stop sharing that. Oh, there it is. Fucked it.
No, I just have to log in again. Anyway, download. I just need the addenda. So I don't need all of that. Don't need the
Am I still
attachment.
sharing, or yeah, am I?
Yeah, you are still sharing. Yeah, I'm going to download them. 5 megabytes, 6 megabytes, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 17, 20, 23. Ooh, it's a big file. Okay, so the addenda.
Just that first document, the addenda 1. I think that's what I just had, though. I don't think there's much in it. See attached briefing presentation.
Oh, that's just showing a PowerPoint presentation, but it's only
they
a
haven't
page.
included it. Yeah, so I think that PowerPoint that they've got there, maybe if I download the doc version, there's like a hyperlink or something embedded in it.
Yeah, I just did that. No, there's not. That's interesting. That's just implying there's a PowerPoint presentation, a briefing presentation, but it's not. It's actually just a. Oh no, I just got it.
Oh, if you click on it, it should give you a hyperlink. Yeah. So the PDF's not going to work because you click on that document and open in PowerPoint. Yeah, I've got it going too.
Okay, can you see that? Oops, can you see that now?
Yep.
Right, yeah. So I'll just go page down. No, that's not going to work. So let's have a look. Briefing protocols, no face-to-face briefing pack, So they're the people that attended. About Horizon, oh, that's a bit boring. About Synergy, yes, that's the Swiss. Supply of approximately 40, yes. That map looks the same as the one we had last week. I think, they're showing the zones. So there was, no, that's interesting because there was a Kununurra and a Broome one. To be delivered in regional depots here, we had that. Scope of supply.
Can you just
So
jump back to the evaluation criteria just for a second?
Sorry, which one was that?
Evaluation. That's it. Technical and safety, ethical sourcing, ease of contracting with. Right.
The tenders closed on the 14th of January. Notification of preferred respondents in March. Due diligence March, April. Execution of contract in April. Cool. Questions? Thank you. Oh, that was it. Right. So.
Yeah, not much there, is there really?
No,
I think there must have been other discussions as part of it that probably make the PowerPoint.
Yeah, so I don't know. So Russell, you're saying if there were questions or any answers given, they would be then
technically yes, but I've been to a lot of these things, and there's a lot that goes unsaid formally. You sort of got to be there to experience it, and they will take any formal questions on notice as part of it, which they then document. But a lot of it's like, they'll just talk about stuff and not really minute it down. And the people in the room don't care because they've got an advantage of everybody else, and then no one says anything. So it just is what it is.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I've never done a tender, well, never been involved in the tender process. So
just bring them up and just say you put it on your credit card and you should win it. So.
Well, that's right. I mean, if I offered $0, if I said I'll do it for nothing, but then again, they got to do due diligence and go, can this guy actually do it for nothing?
You just look how many shares you got and you go, yep, he can do it.
He's got the capacity.
That's probably not quite true. But
that was evaluation criteria number one.
How long is it going to take for you to do it, Harold?
Yeah.
How long do you think all that'll take? 2 weeks. Really? Yeah, that's all.
Any idea when you're going to be finished here?
2 weeks.
How long will it take to put this place together?
2 weeks.
That's how long it'll take.
My second thing I was going to get to was I happened to be looking at prices of Model S's and X's when the website went down and they took them off. Coincidentally, I was just on it when it happened. So I also read some correspondence around, what's happening to people who had them on order. I know someone who had a Plaid on order. I'm assuming he'll still get it at some point, but the possibility of a delay to the original one is probably more likely, seeing they've taken them down. But is this going to be a similar situation that we spoke about with the Cybertruck, where they're essentially not putting on there because they know that the delivery time is going to be so far out, but also giving them more options to actually change the price before the orders?
Okay, well, this is an email that I got personally from Tesla, bearing in mind that I ordered the standard Model X. So I guess that was called a long range, because at the time when I ordered it on the 9th of January 2021, you could buy two types of Model X. Let's call it the long range and the performance. There were two choices. I ordered the performance, and I got this email from Tesla a few days ago. So basically it says, as we ramp production, launch timelines for global markets have been placed on hold. We'll update your estimated delivery date on your Tesla account as the production of your Model X approaches. In order to prioritize existing orders like yours, we will temporarily stop accepting new Model S and Model X orders in global markets. We will continue to... Now, this is the big kicker, which is a very new development for Tesla in Australia. We will continue to honour the price at the date of ordering. If you would like to apply your order fee to a different vehicle, blah, blah, blah. So what makes this big news is that this is part of a tweet that I sent in response to Pete, and it went like this. And I said, this is huge news, Pete. It seems the adage that it's never too late to do the right thing sometimes does hold. My order price was $35,000 less than the last indicated price on Tesla's website before pricing was removed. Well done, Elon Musk, for not punishing your loyal customers. So when I ordered that car, it basically increased in price by $35,000 afterwards. And there was always a risk that Tesla would continue to invite me to pay the $35,000 extra, or simply accept a refund of my $150 deposit. But as we stand now, it looks like Tesla is, well, they've said in writing that they're going to abide by the original price.
Looks like you should have bought 10 of them, mate. Would have made yourself 350 grand.
Well, yeah, but I'd have to cough up.
It's all right. Buy one, sell one, buy one, sell one.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. But what do the Russians say? Trust but verify. You know, well, I've got to take Tesla at face value. It looks like they have basically stated officially that they are going to abide by the original order. For those watching in YouTube land, when you look at the order agreement, which I'll bring up, it has got specific clauses for each territory that you're in or state, and there is a limit to what Tesla can increase the price for any reason whatsoever. And I'm just going to bring this up. Oh, it was actually for less than I thought. So it was probably about $38,000. Oh, and I just got to hide that little bit. Okay. This is a little bit fiddly. Okay. All right. Hopefully this works. So just let me know if you can see anything. If you can just see, can you see for sales in Western Australia?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the main thing is towards the bottom, it says the purchase price. Sorry, if the manufacturer increases the cost of the new vehicle to Tesla, mind you, this legislation is presuming that there is such a thing as a manufacturer and a dealer, except in Tesla's case, the manufacturer is the dealer, so they're one and the same. But
There could be two different legal entities in that it could be
yes,
Tesla US versus Tesla, proprietary limited in Australia.
Yeah, entirely true. So technically that precedent or that function could still hold. But what it says is, if the manufacturer increases the cost of the new vehicle to Tesla, Tesla is only entitled to pass on to you an increase of up to and including 5% of the total factory price of the vehicle. So I guess you could say, had Tesla decided to insist on charging the higher price, then the Western Australian terms and conditions, which it states in the sales contract for sales in Western Australia. Oh, and by the way, it actually shows other states as well. So you've got in Queensland and other states, New South Wales, etc. But there is a separate section for Western Australia under the Motor Vehicle Dealers Regulations 1974 Act. So there is a protection for people engaging in these contracts, that the price can't be exorbitantly increased on you. But it seems that as part of this process, I presume this email came about because they have decided to close out orders, any future orders at the moment. And that's probably got to do with delivery timeframes. It's very interesting that Model S and X has been removed from the government register of vehicles, which is sort of a bit interesting. That might just be a coincidence, but perhaps what they've worked out is the demand in the States is so high that they just don't want to take orders from any other jurisdictions, and they just want to get through the orders they've already got, because they're sort of basically obliged to deliver them, basically. So, Pete and I got notifications that our delivery wouldn't be until 2020, end of 2022, so end of next year. Well, I presume that's going to blow out to sometime into 2023.
Hey, Harold, I never ended up getting the Model X email.
No. So that's interesting. We'll just sorry for all those in YouTube land. Yeah. So anyway, but that's the state of play, Russell. So yeah, unfortunately, if anyone wants to order an S or an X, you're all out of luck. It's well, they're going back to sort of like the Cybertruck, where it's like delivery frame unknown. You can reserve it, but there's deliveries unknown and the price is unknown. So that's
rather than essentially reserving a spot in the queue. That's the only really reason to pick one now, because it's not locking any sort of like value, because the price is going to be subject to time anyway.
So it's the same as Pete and me and others who have ordered the tri-motor Cybertruck.
And Jared.
Sight unseen, well, basically. We don't know all the features. We don't know the cost. And we already know that we're going to get the quad motor now. So the only thing that we could possibly have locked in stone, hopefully, is the full FSD price of $10,100. That's the only.
And
sorry?
Lots of young girls in the back of the truck, like 5 or 6 young girls.
You're doing the jacuzzi conversion, Harold?
Yeah, and the jacuzzi in the back. Yeah, that's it. And then
yeah,
Pete would have to live in his spot. He'd have to live in his car for about a year.
Yeah, but look, they can't even make a straight bonnet. I mean, look at that, all the ripples in it. Like, imagine seeing that at the service centre, going to Harry, going, "Oh, Harry, it's a bit ripply, mate. How do you get that
They'll
out?"
sort that out. They'll sort that out. That's just trivial shit.
He'd buff it out. Harry'd buff it out.
Yeah, they'll buff that out. They'll sort that out. No worries.
Actually, by the way, Elon Musk, because I know you're watching, the way you solve this problem is you don't make the bonnet out of 30X stainless steel. You just go to Giga Shanghai and buy stains-less steel, and you'll be able to roll it, fold it, do whatever you want with it. It'll be fine.
Bulletproof. So he wants it bulletproof.
Yeah, but the front doesn't matter. It's only an internal. It's only covering the. It's only a lid. It's not a structural member. It's just a lid for your golf bag.
Well, isn't it part of the exoskeleton?
Yeah.
No, because the only way it could be part of the exoskeleton is if they actually bind the actual bonnet, and make it structural, make it keyed in as part of the crumple zone. But they'll have.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So no, it's.
Yeah.
No,
It
it's got to
won't-
be solid because
I
when
can't
you're
wait
filming
to get that. I mean,
when you film your rap videos and you got three girls up there twerking, it's got to hold the weight.
Yep. Exactly.
That's why it's got to be structural.
It's got to be structural.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed for twerking. They said that already.
Yeah, but but the thing is, because they can't roll it, they can't stamp it. That's why they've got these striations, because they've probably literally been cleaning it on some huge hammer thing
I think
to
that's
try
their
and
logo.
give it that
Harold.
shape.
That's the logo. No roll, no ride, or something like
Why
that.
don't they?
So-
Why don't they colour? They could CNC it out of a piece of billet, maybe.
Well, see,
I think you take anyone seriously with a pussy above their head. Eh? How can you take that seriously? Seriously, you look at it, you just go.
It's
How can I
it's
take
about.
anything Russell was saying?
It's like that. What's that band that had the baby in the swimming pool?
Oh, Nirvana.
Sorry.
Nirvana.
Yeah, Nirvana. That's what that pussy looks like.
Yeah, it does.
It looks just. It looks just the same.
Nirvana. He looks very much like Kurt Cobain without hair.
Indeed. So yeah, the Cybertruck, we just done it on spec, and we're just going to cop the price increase. Except we might get the full self-driving at the $10,000 price, but we'll probably pay another 30 for the Cybertruck.
I've got a question. When's Pete Petrosky going to stop looking like he just got out of prison? Like, he's got that whole prison look, like he just got out like yesterday. Are we thinking about
What
having
you
a
talking
shave?
about, Willis? What you're talking about?
We're looking at having a shave soon. What's going on with the Hollywood sign now? What we're trying to make now? We're trying to look intelligent now, are we? Hey, had a pussy above your head all night. Now you're in Hollywood, okay? Jesus, you guys are your virtual screens. I don't know.
Okay, you just talked amongst yourselves for a moment. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Yes. Okay. So it turns out that the servicing of those electric vehicles I found on the tender site was actually for the club cars at the zoo.
Oh, really?
So if you need to work, Jared, you can go out and service them if you want.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Wash the elephant shit off it or something.
Gold. Hey, is Damo still there? Damo? There he is, Damo.
Hey,
How many speeding fines you had in your car already?
none yet. Thank
None
God,
yet?
but I nearly got one yesterday, I thought.
You got to be careful at those lights, mate, when you take off, especially
Oh,
with the camera.
yeah.
You realise your car's got so much acceleration. By the time you get to the
Other
end
side.
of the traffic lights, you're over the speed limit.
Yeah, I know, Pete. The old speedometer ticks up pretty quick.
It does.
Jumps up at you.
They don't even take you at the lights now, Damo. When they come to when a V8 Commodore will come next to you, he'll just see, no, he's a Tesla. They don't even try anymore now. That's like the other day I was driving and I had this V8 Commodore hotted up come next to me, and he just looked over and went, nah, not even going to bother, because he knew knew that I just put my foot down, he'd be fucking
I was having a play on Reed Highway with it was a VF GDS.
Yeah.
I think on Monday we went Karen up.
Yeah.
And he was jaw dropped.
Yeah.
Like I give it sort of a 100 hit,
Yeah. Square.
on the Reed Highway, and he just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's good when you take off at the the lights, and then you put the rear camera on. You can see them behind you. So, look, they're just leaving the lights now, and you're miles in front.
They're unreal.
Damo,
I'm really happy, Jared.
Did you get your 10-second number plates or not?
11 second.
Yeah, what, you're going to lighten it and get 10 seconds or not?
10 seconds is gone.
Was it?
Yeah.
Gone in 10 seconds?
Didn't check that one.
Yeah, they're good fun, mate. I tell you,
Shit, yeah, Jared.
I love my performance. I tell you, when we went and test drive, the wife looked at, she's just got the SR Plus, and I went, let's try this performance one. Nah, that's it. We're just getting the performance. That's it now.
Yeah.
Once you drive that, you're just sold on it. It's just such a great
big time. Yep.
Every day.
Cool.
But then you just start getting a bit more where you park it. You really got to think about where you park it. Where it's not like you didn't really care about other cars, but this one you really don't want to get door dinged or.
Yep, 100%.
A bit more peace of mind that you've got something monitoring it, but still.
One thing that frustrates me about that, I had a incident the other day where someone walked past the front of the car. I was at Galleria Shopping Centre.
Oh, yeah.
Someone walked past. The lights flashed at them. They walked out of frame. Then they turned around and smashed the front of the car and then walked off again.
Really?
I wish there was a way you could turn the lights off so it didn't trigger people's anger.
Yeah, I agree, Russell.
You're talking about Sentry mode, I presume.
Yeah, because my car got hit the other day when they actually walked past the car, and then when they realised it flashed them, they went back and hit it and walked off. So if they hadn't flashed, I still would have got them on camera, but they wouldn't have hit the car.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't understand why there's not an option to just turn it off.
Damage the car, Russell?
Not that I could see, but it's just more like you
don't want that happening.
Yeah, I mean it could have easily damaged it, but where they hit it, I think they hit it right where you actually close the bonnet, so it probably wouldn't have really mattered too much. But I mean, it could have as easily have done something to it, and then I've got to get the dent fixed, I guess.
Yeah.
Why are these drongos doing this? They seem to be targeting Teslas, like.
Oh yeah.
It's right off.
Ask your mates down the drags, Damon. You can find out for us.
Look, whenever I go to shopping centres now, I valet park it. I pay the $10. It's just worth it. Just that way you're not going to get trashed. Or I park it somewhere that's a little bit safer.
Yep.
Hey, Damo. Actually, Harold, are you able to put it on pause for a second?
Yeah. Just hang on 2 seconds. For everyone watching on YouTube, we'll be right back.
I've got to get up for work at 3:30.
Oh, shit.
Oh, it's getting late.
Yeah. Speaking of late,
Jared, do you want to check your camera, Jared? I think I saw your GIMP moving in your basement.
Oh, that's another 10 minutes until the GIMP comes out. The GIMP's in the safety room. What are you talking about? Talking about that GIMP? That's one of the dogs. Little mustard GIMP.
So it looks like we're 844. We're down 1.42%. That's all right. Oh, sorry, 944. That's not too bad.
No, it'll drop down to 700 by Christmas, and be right.
Yes, you never know your luck.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we should gently wrap it up.
But I'm going to get a GoFundMe page to get Pete to have a shave. Get rid of that prison look. Getting worse and worse.
I don't know if Pete probably hasn't had a shave for decades.
I had one this morning. What are you talking about?
Put your back,
Hairy
mate.
bastard.
Put your back.
My back.
Dear, oh dear. I've got to give a shout out to Damon, Joseph, Ashley, Dick, Tom, Harry, Hosney,
Elon,
and others. Elon, well, Elon's a dark horse. Elon's just here to stalk the other Pete. The other Pete.
I forgot to ask, what about Carmen? Did you have to go over her house this week? Because I heard she had a cracked concrete pad, and I thought you might be over there just laying a bit of concrete in her house. I was actually thinking about that.
Probably not here because she's sick of you bloody antagonising her.
No, she loves me. Carmen loves me.
Maybe it's IT issues.
She loves to hate you.
Harold, maybe you might need to head over there, Harold, to check for IT issues. Maybe she can't get a computer working.
No, she gets Harold doing more than the IT issues. He's re-roofing the house next week. He's fixing the plumbing and Jesus, poor Harold. So big hello to Carmen wherever you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm fairly confident that you're not watching this, Carmen, and if you are, well, welcome to the recording. All right, let's wrap it up. Yep. So thank you all for coming. It's, as usual, it's been a tremendously enjoyable session and valuable too. We've all learned something. Some things we can't repeat, but it's all good. Hey, Pete.
Joe.
And Joe's in the house.
He's back.
Joe's about to have lunch for the half.
Goodbye session.
Goodbye session.
One day we'll have to chat to Joe and say, well, Joe, so when do you knock off? Like 3 a.m. or do you just keep going round and round and round the clock?
Once you stop, then I can finish my work and then I go. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to go in about 30 seconds. So for everyone in YouTube land, please make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and also share. So, tell your friends about this awesome channel and all the great knowledge that we try and impart to everyone. We obviously have a bit of fun, and we don't take it too seriously. So everyone have a wonderful week. We'll see you next Wednesday. Oof, that's almost just before Christmas, and that's going to be a crazy time. But look after yourselves, and we'll look forward to seeing you next Wednesday on Ask Us Anything. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Harold. Good night, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Cheers. See ya.
Thanks, Harold.